Okay. So, welcome to the Shark Stream. So it should be... I believe it's this one. See you around, Imperial Star Destroyer. Yep, this is it. Okay, so I'm just going to face the floor here for no reason. Ignore me. But I just kind of wanted to show this off, and a lot of other people wanted to show this off too, so we're just going to do this for a second. Don't mind me. Just going to go over here. So this was the build. So we played this co-op, right? Why wouldn't it be, Triaxia? So we played this co-op. And I'm going to show off a little bit of the co-op fun we've been getting into recently. Of course, it's late and dark and terrible, but whatever. Now, we originally had a base. Hang on, I need to absolutely murder this orb weaver in seconds. For those of you who are more observant, you may notice that I actually have the mantis weapon on. What you may not be observant enough to notice is that I have the mantis armor on as well. Because we killed the mantis, I want to say like 6 times. Because of course we did. Oh well, he's just stuck over there. That's funny. Anyways. So we originally came over here. And I think not much of it is surviving. Because none of them had played the game before. And most of my friends, I don't want to say they're inexperienced. Because that sounds harsh. But I don't have a better word for it. So I mean it neutrally, right? They did not know how to play Survivor Builder games. Well, this was a 70-day game act. Also, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday night, I spend time playing co-op with my friends. Although, different friends on different nights. Monday is Pax, Tuesday is everybody, Wednesday is just Gary and Pax, Friday is,
Prepare yourself! Large insect incoming!
Oh my god. Hang on. So as you can see, we're at the end game. In fact, the current quest is go beat the game, which is the exact spot I wanted for this. Kind of wish it was daytime, but unfortunately, it's not. No, exactly, Javan. There is, again, no negatives here. Oh, I don't know, Act. Like, I usually hop in with my friends, and then we play until I have to go to bed, because I'm always the limiter there, for obvious reasons. You know what? I know what I'm going to do. Let's do this. I'll see it there. You can see my mantis gear. Super death. What I need the lean-to really quick, which I don't remember where that is. Three clovers, 2 sprigs. No, it's okay, Goldbug. I'm literally just showing stuff off. I actually pull... It was harder than it sounded to pull the save, because this is actually... Gary was then hosting. And I know they've got that whole, you could just make the save local or whatever thing, but that didn't work at all. Instead, what we had to do is he had to go physically hunt down his physical save on his computer, then send it to us, and I pulled it and dumped it onto my computer, so I now had the save. This is the second stream. You're staring at it, Act. I know, alright, Javan. But we look so cool! No lunch. Lunch is death. Death to lunch. Yeah, shut up. We didn't 100% because we didn't care. Oh my god. Why is this taking so long to get over here? Yeah, I'm also at the point where I'm not really afraid of anything because I've got mantis gear on. Twice. Finally, okay. Okay. What? So ignore that. Ignore that. Ignore that. See you around, Jesse Ward. Okay, so now it's daytime. I can actually show you some stuff. So we originally made our base over here. Actually, kind of west of here, but whatever. You get the general idea. And we were like, this is an okay base location. And I was trying very hard to not table captain. I don't like table captaining unless people ask me to. For those of you not aware of the concept, table captain is when one person unwarrantedly just takes control of a particular co-op group. It's termed for people who would do that in, for example, board games or pen and paper stuff like Dungeons and Dragons. So I don't like table captains, and I don't want to be one. So I'm just sitting back, chilling, doing whatever they tell me to do, and you know, living with it. Well, after, I don't know, a little bit of time, like maybe a session or two, one of them is like, okay, look, can you just tell us where to build? And I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, well, you know where everything is. Where's a good base location? Shut up, Wendell! Where's a good base location? And they're like, and I'm like, well, it's okay, well, and I suggested a few places, including the places we actually built during our co-op run, which was over on the lily pads. And they were like, okay, that's cool. So we decided, actually, but this is our third base total, if you're paying any kind of attention here. Excuse me. Oh, you're dead. You're dead. Okay, cool. So we built that base, which I'm kind of trying to show off partially over here. Now, this base we got pretty far into. We even have an emergency exit entrance. So if something's chasing you, you can just immediately get into the base like that. And we started laying down all the clay. We're going to have a nice clay ground. And, well, we didn't finish that, as you can tell here. And we were setting it up, and it was cool. Everything was cool. We had some lights, you know. You can see bits and pieces of the original base are still here, obviously. Only bits and pieces. And I want to show something off. I didn't know this until this. So you notice how there's no grass over here? You see this just empty swath of dirt? Did you know, in Grounded, that if you chop down grass and then kill this root, it will not grow back? I did not know that. Neither did Don, who was the one who was actually chopping down. So this forest, and I want to stress, this used to be like as dense as this, right? You know, can't go a foot or a millimeter, whatever, without grass, is just gone because he was turbo clearing everything for the sake of building the base. Now, we start talking about this, and at a certain point, Gary's like, hold up. Like, this is a nice base and all, but we've got... Yes, you can actually remove grass from the game. It is the reason why the grass seed plantable exists, because the grass seed is the only renewable source of grass in the game. Now, the thing is, if you know anything about this game, you know the grass seed sucks. It's terribly designed. I think the only reason it's terribly designed is nobody spent any time on it, because it's literally just for people who take out all the grass. Anyways, so we build up our base, and Gary's like, hold up. Why are we building on this stupid rock? This is dumb. Like, we keep getting hit by these bombardiers that are over here, and there's these bees that are coming around. Why don't we just build a flying fortress? So, you know, this thing gets started. Dizzy alert, dizzy alert, dizzy alert, dizzy alert, dizzy alert. And we make the second layer. Hello, creator. Thank you very much, as always. We'll Alt-Tab to write that down really quick here. XZ135 towards Command and Conquer. I can type. 3. You got it. Thank you very much. So, I suggest this setup. You remember that little staircase? So we can access the upper level without having to go through the lava. And they're like, okay, so I set up that and build that. Then they're like, okay, so they build this, because they want regular access to a node where they can scan stuff. So they set up this little outpost here, and then build another thing over here so they can just go straight from the outpost up here. And I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. You know, now we're on the upper level. Oh, this is pretty cool. But hold up. Why don't we make a floating castle? Really flesh it out. Like, just go nuts with it. And I'm like, okay, sure, yeah, let's do that. So we go nuts with it. Yeah, I know you're hungry. Shut up, game. I guess I do have food on me. I think I have food on me. Yeah, I do. There we go. Nom, nom, nom. And just go ahead and drink from the thing that I have. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Drink.
Hydration is the key to performance.
I'm trying really hard not to give it away too early, but I think you start to understand where this is going. So, because you notice this upper fortress area is completely barren, but this is what it looked like. I actually designed this. They kept calling me the architect. And I'm like, all right, just build it. And I'm like, all right. So I mapped it out. They put it together. Dawn deforested half the universe. And I started putting together what was going to be a nexus for the for these things, for the zip wires. And I put it together the same spot I was going to put it last time on my game, which, if you're remembering, is the button. I don't remember. There it is. Is over there. Like, yeah, you probably can't see it, but you see that like lamp over there? It was going to be over there. Gary's like, well, you need height for that, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, why don't we just, why don't we just, why don't we get some height? And I was like, well, okay, yeah, we can make some height. Sure. This is good, right? No, hang on. This is actually where we put the pallets for carrying up, because we're already a little bit. So we made a little more height. And hang on. Hang on, we're not there yet. So anyways, so this is our actual base. What's really fascinating, like there's so many things that are fascinating about this. You can see we've got a little bit of a zip wire network all the way up here that goes to basically everywhere. We've got a shot over to the whatever that is, the bird pool. We've got one going back down there to the spider nest. We've got one going to the end of the game. We've got one going down over to the gas maze of hell. We, of course, have one going over to the dire lens over there. We've got one going to the base of the final the encounter and to the top of the final encounter. And, of course, we've got one going over to the shed. And one going over to the table, which also has one going over to there. So we've also got this one, though. This is how you get down. Okay, I lived. So, by total random chance, this angle is so steep that it is possible to die on impact there because because you're going so fast and it doesn't detect the fact that you're in safe mode, aka on a wire, quickly enough. Oh yeah, fun fact. So relatively early into the construction of this, I was getting, you see that platform in the middle? I was getting rid of that thing because it's just an eyesore, right? One of those platforms is supporting the base. Now, it shouldn't be. In fact, if you mouse over it, it doesn't say it is. But trust me, when I knocked out one, I forget even which one it was, but I knocked out one of them, and the whole thing just collapsed. It was actually a glorious to watch. But, yeah, that one had to stay. Anyways, so here's the actual base. Just showing this off a little bit.
Tastes really good.
We've got our water set up for one for each of us. We've got, here's our food storage, oven. We tried a pet. Pets suck. Pets are the worst in this game. Oh my god, you want to talk about undesigned. Piss off. Here's the drying area. We've, of course, got our weaving section. Massive storage. So one of the things they patched since I played this game is they added the ability to access chests from a much further distance, which is great. So it means all of these chests can be accessed from the crafter station over there or the crafter station right here. So we can build everything out of that. And, of course, we had all sorts of upgrade stuff and goop stuff because we were trying to... oh, yeah, pack split that there, of course. Yeah, of course, it's still being changed. That's why some of you may or may not have noticed we can go up zip lines now. That was another thing they patched in. And here's our one bed, and there's trash in there for some. I don't know why they label things. You'll have to ask them. No, it's not live service. It's just they just keep patching stuff. I don't know what this is. Don't ask me. Don't ask me. So funny thing, a couple stories here I want to share really quick before I chop off here. So first of all, at one point in time, PAX gets in. Now, I believe it's R. Yep. So you see how easy that is? I just tapped that button. Just tapped it and immediately hunked it, right? So he's using a weapon. And you notice we have these windows here, right? So we discovered a little quirk of how the game works, because he hucks a weapon right out the window. Naturally, the first thing he does is immediately jumps up and dives after it. Like, oh god, oh god, oh god. We discovered that if an item gets like rapidly tossed from you at a certain rate, the game just despawns it. It was gone. All four of us were down there in the, here, I'll even show you. I'll show you. All four of us were down here. And when I say down here, I mean down here. Scouring this part of the pool. It was gone. I guarantee it. We were methodical. We were doing grid searching. It was not here. So Pax didn't have a weapon for a bit. That was fun. So I'm going to go. We also discovered that this game has the Mercy Knife from Outer Wilds. I didn't actually discover that. I think Gary or Don discovered that. Someone else. Someone other than me. We also discovered that even at this ridiculous height... Well, yeah, because we had keep items turned on. Imagine losing your items each time you warp back to base. Even at this, whoops, ridiculous height. I'm actually on the wrong one. Hang on. Oh, there's definitely water monsters. Oh, yeah, so hang on. Another thing we discovered. If I'm on this line and I run into someone else, we both fall wherever we hit each other, because any collision causes you to fall in that. Okay, so this one. This one. There you go. So you notice, despite the ridiculous height, excuse me, this still has not that much of an angle, so we're still not going that fast because of how high up this is over here. Yeah, sure. Check it out. There's a little bit of momentum the aphid has to fight against, but yeah. You have to get an upgrade for this, but it is a thing you can get. Now, you might wonder why we bothered to have a line coming straight here, of all places. That's a very good question. So, sploosh, as they say. Unintentional. Still funny. We had such a need to kill the queen so many times in order to kill the mantis so many times that we built a freaking like thing that goes straight to her. That's her right there. That's where the boss is. Go away. So we sort of streamlined. Yeah, okay. Being able to reach her. Alright, so let's kill ourselves again really quick. Let's see, other stories. Dawn discovered something. I'm trying to remember what it was. Like, we were going over there. I showed off the deforestation. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing, real quick. So, first of all, the spot Dawn deforested is much more obvious when you see it from up here. Look at that. There's just this empty, barren spot right there. Ahem. But the other thing I found fascinating about this, and I want to give tremendous credit to the developers of this game, it looks like a yard from up here. Like, it's still a terrible yard. It's still a dirty and filthy yard, and they should be ashamed of it. But it actually looks like a yard from this height. Look at it. Like, there's the thing. Just walk out. You go over there, right? There's the thing. Hi, Flagant. Ping to you. Hello, Raven King. Ping to Puppy. Now, up there is no excuse. That's just... There's a reason that place is the Dyers up there. Jesus Christ. They need to get out here. And just... Ugh. Yeah, no, it looks like a yard. I imagine... Yeah, exactly. You can only really tell because you're at the height, almost, of what a person would be at. And so now you can look down as if you were a person in this yard. And it's a completely different perspective. It's like, oh yeah, no, that tracks. Because the size variance doesn't actually matter based on camera position. It's just a neat little thing. Also, some people have built this much higher than this. I'm going to spoil this. There's no, like, part to that house once you get above it. And all that stuff out there doesn't exist. And all sorts of stuff. You know, there's a lot of tricks here. In fact, you can start to see some of the tricks. Like, you can kind of see over there. There's not quite pieces of the houses there. But anyways, point being that I thought that was just cool. You know, there's just trash everywhere. Oh, God, that's so disgusting. You want to get ants? This is how you get ants. What else is I going to show off? Excuse me. I think that might have been it. Yeah, boy, do we have ants. Good God, we have ants. Like I said, we killed the mantis several times. We had to kill the brood member many, many times. We actually did all of the event where you had to defend the thing. And then, you know, got the electric thing, which sucks, by the way.
This is the best ever! Woohoo!
Fast way back into the base over there. Oh yeah, I should show that off. I know, right, Goldbug? It's so ordinary. And there's the bridge. I think Dawn built this bridge, because... Oh yeah, I remember this, because I'm not even going to show it off. Well, I have to go like all the way around to even get up over there, but there's the platform and there's the final boss. We did everything. We 100% and we swept. But the real thing I wanted to show off was how the base looks at a distance. It never stopped amusing me because you can see it at night, like when you sleep. And you can see that it's actually like that. And there's just this stick sticking out in the cutscene. Yeah. In fact, here, hang on. Let me kill myself really quick. Let's see, can I go to bed yet? For 4 hours. Jesus. But yeah, let me show off something else here. So if you mouse over stuff, you can see what they're supporting in the bottom, like supporting 0. Supporting 2, supporting 2, supporting 0. Supporting 296. 298, 300, 302, 304, 306, 308. And you can just see the number slowly increasing on the bottom. I feel like it's supporting quite a bit. But then it, like, gets weird. Remember how I mentioned that it's just weird right around here? Because this is supporting 0. But that's supporting 371. Like, you remember when I mentioned look, it says right there, supporting 0, supporting 0. And yet I'm not going to show it. But if I knock this out, whole thing would just go collapsing. 0, 371, 375, 377, 381, 0, 385, 0, 0. Yeah, that's supporting. I don't know how they calculate it, but I have a feeling, whoa, shoot, let me just fall here. But I have a legitimate feeling that whatever program, or whatever script, excuse me, that they have calculating the supporting number actually isn't pulling from the actual supporting number. It's a separate calculation. We started doing a railguard, but I want you to imagine building a railguard along this. Here, I'll just do the full run so you can see the distance for a second. And we're here. By the way, that's with the speed increase. Ah, 2 more hours. Don't move the mouse. Oh my god. Gary had a theory about it. So if you go down, look on the left, it's very patterned, right? Except there. which is not, and here, or it's not. But both of those are fine, right? But then you see this weird gap right here. I'm not 100% sure how that gap happened right there. But we think this is actually... It says 0, but we think that is actually supporting where this should be supporting. Maybe. This is all hypothetical. We don't know. We don't freaking know. It's just... It works. We're just in the Warhammer universe. It works, and that's all we know. I got nothing. Yes, the magic open dreams floating castle. Let's see, what time is it? Here, I'll go show off. Oh, here, let's do this.
I love this!
I'm pretty sure this is actually slower than walking. But it's more scenic. God, this yard is so filthy. Just... Whoever lived here should be ashamed of themselves. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So we learned a little bit more about how invasions work. Invasions only target certain type of structures, which, interestingly enough, do not include walls, on the ground. They literally do not target anything in the air, even like that original floating base. Never mind this one. And if you're paying attention, we don't really have any structures on the ground. We just have support stuff. All our structures is up here. So we never got invasions, ever. What's funny, though, is that was unintentional. I kept worrying about invasions. Because, yeah, I was worried about them being like, all right, let's go ahead and knock out some of these things. And, yeah, I figured the whole thing would come flying down, but whatever. Time for the devs to add. I'm telling you, the one big wish list I would add for this game. Not that they're going to do it, because they're working on their other game right now. Exactly, Java. Is I want them to add tameable vehicles in the form of bugs. Like, this game was built for the idea of wandering around on, like, a rhino, or, you know, if you want to have something that has a lot of health and armor, or you run around on an ant if you want something that's relatively quick or can go over difficult terrain, or you get on a bee if you want to have a bad pathing, like, you know, bzz, bzz, bzz. But it's a flyer. It's not a fast flyer, but it's a flyer that can get you where you want to go, etc., etc. Like, I feel like that really would be legitimately an awesome addition to the game. Instead of these stupid things. You suck. Whatever your name is. What's your name? Plonker. You suck, Plonker. Yeah, no spiders. In fact, hey, all the spiders are gone. Forever. There's no spiders in the game anymore. They've all been erased. You can't do anything to the pets. You can't kill the pets. You can't starve the pets. They're just there forever. That's why that pet is still there. Trust us, we would have killed it if we could. Few more minutes. Few more minutes. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I can really show off. Because there's two other things I want to show off before I cut it off. Does it serve gameplay function? That's a good question. So here's the deal. Here's the problem we had. Okay. So that's the pet's home. That's what enables you to have a pet, basically. Here's the problem. This thing was so high up, this thing wasn't even here for a while. Like, it couldn't figure out how to get up here. In fact, we're pretty sure it just eventually teleported up here. The other thing is, it's slow. Like, once you get it to follow you around, it is super slow. It's certainly slower than running around on these zip lines are. It did say, apparently it's killed 39 things. I don't know how or why. Whatever. Okay, so now we sleep till morning. So, watch the cutscene. Watch the cutscene now that I'm actually drawing your attention to it. Right there on the right. You see it? Just, yep. Just a giant base just sitting there in the middle of nowhere. I love that. I love that every time. All right, so last thing I'm going to do. I should ask Gary to watch this. I don't know, I'll point him to the VOD or something later. Only the really tiny ones. All right. I'm going to wait for the sun to be a little bit higher, I think. Which means I have to wait even longer. Damn it! Yeah, I know, right? Just you walk into the yard and it's like... Huh? Oh, actually, you know what? While I'm waiting for it to be darker. Or lighter, excuse me. There's actually one last thing I could show off. So, you remember how I showed off how we get to the Broodmother? Well, Gary had another idea how to get to the Broodmother. Now, Gary's idea was terrible. Because Gary's idea was to make this. Now, this probably doesn't look impressive, but this takes a lot longer to build than it sounds like. And the best part was that he gave up right about at this point. And we're not even halfway there. We're not even halfway to the Broodmother area. Also going in the wrong direction. Now, on the plus side, this would have served as a nice way to dive bomb into any spot. Because we're at the point where I could probably jump from here and take no damage. Well, that's not true. I would take damage, but I wouldn't die. Because I have the reduced fall thing, and we've got the things. Point is, I would probably not die from that fall. Which is just funny. I also have the dandelion, obviously. But this is his diving board. Gary's lovely diving board. Okay. Looks like it's high enough. Let's go ahead. Sure, why not? This is probably actually faster. Let's see if I can die from it. Here we go. Ready? Told you. Pull out my knife. Ugh.
This is the best ever! Woohoo!
Aw, still no death. Alright, whatever. So everyone, something I've been wanting to do since we first built this. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see. So let's take out this. Nope, okay, still fine. It's still fine. Okay. So let's take out this staircase. No, still fine. Still fine. Okay. Supposedly that wall is supporting 398. Okay, so hang on. So let's get these out of the way. We had a lot of pallets. We did a lot of building. What do you want from us? I actually do have a backup, yes. There it goes. Oh god, the lag. Oh my god, it does not like that many things at once. Oh Jesus, look at that chop. Look at that chop. Oh god. Oh. Yeah, my CPU is whoa right now. Oh Jesus, the physics are weird in this game, by the way. We encountered that a few times as well. I can't even jump out of the water, I'm so laggy. And there's all the pieces of the base. Oh my god, look at it all. Look at it all. This is all the raw components of everything that we built all the structures of up there. Look at it all. God, I can't even move in this nonsense. I'm being, if it's not obvious from the frame rate, I'm being shoved around by the physics of all this crap. Holy crap. You can also tell which stuff floats and which stuff does not. Okay, there we go. We got out of the water. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what that was. You notice none of the items survived the fall. Remember what I mentioned earlier about the sword? Well, that's our base. I need to take a screenshot of this really quick. Give me a sec, give me a sec. Yeah, goodbye 70-hour build. I'm just going to share this screenshot real quick. Honestly, no, not really, Act. Go figure. Where's the group? There it is. Backup save corrupted. Ah! Okay. So let's super quit out. So that was grounded. Like I said, I wanted to show that off for a while. Next game I want to show off is Factorio. I'm going to have to add my own music for Factorio because we don't have any music right now. So we're going to go back to StarCraft music because that's what I got queued up. It feels appropriate, right? Yeah, I think we're actually... That's still... Why is my camera still wrong for these? That's very strange. Like, I'm right here. Oh, I know why. That makes sense. It's because I haven't streamed with this camera yet. Other than the Justified stuff. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm still here. Hi. Yeah. Let's see. Look, if you want to see sharks flag end, then stab. Alright, with donuts. There's a lot of donuts here, and they're all gonna get stabbed. Ignore all of this. We're not rating anything right now. Get on my screen. Get on my screen. There we go. There are many sharks here, this is true. So I want to do... that one. Nothing, Raven King. They make the shots because they're the ones in charge. So, nothing. Whoops. Okay, hold on. Hang on. So I had bottleneck, fluid memory storage, jetpack. Yeah, you know what prevents executive meddling? Other executives. That's not a joke, that's the truth. I think that's all I had for my base, for my main game. This is the game. No, back. There we go. So, here on Mr. Red. So this is our current factory. As you can see, anybody familiar with this game can probably tell how far into the game we are just from looking at this thing. But, I just wanted to show it off a little bit here. So, you might notice there's still a little bit of the, what I like to call the circuit board in the middle here. Because PAX, we're pretty close to endgame, actually, Cure White Noise. Like, we've got the bot network going, as you can see here. So, originally, all of these underground vents were upground, and PAX was like, I want to turn all those to underground. So the reason there's all these underground things everywhere is because PAX really wanted there to be underground things everywhere. I don't know what else to add to that, to be completely honest with you. It does make it very difficult to figure out what the heck is going on at any given point in time. Thank you, MPPY. Always appreciate. We'll put that towards Pokemon Arceus. Thank you. Yeah, there's secret tunnels everywhere. Now, this actually looks... this used to be much more spaghetti. It's much more organized now. You can tell because we've got the high-end lines pretty well designed, and you know, we've got tons of throughput in terms of steel and in terms of iron and blah, 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 blah. Like, this is much more coordinated and organized than it used to be. Here, let's speed this up a little bit. Does this game have a story? No. You can also tell we've had some power issues, as we have worked very hard to prevent those from being an issue. Holy crap. This is, yeah. This still isn't enough power, by the way. Like, you can see at our network here, we are overproducing, but not by as much as we probably should be. It's still pretty close. This is actually a recent addition. This is where we're producing military tech. Because that was a huge problem for a while. This is where the... like, you can start to see some of the spaghetti here. Because we set up our first factory line here to bring in oil, and then it took us so long to figure out how to process oil, we just kind of kept tacking on these storage tanks because we just kept having more and more and more oil. Petroleum, specifically in this case. Hey, Chatterbox, go for it. And then, of course, we eventually flattened that out, so we've got our plastic supply over here. And this leads over here to produce our sulfur, which is then also produced for our acid. And there's our one and only blue chip producer right there. This is one of the next things we need to solve, is fixing this problem. Because we have some problems there. Now, we recently set up a new green chip spot over here, but they're having their own issues. We have so much iron coming in, and yet we still don't have enough iron. It's bonkers to think about. Like, look at this line of steel. We still have iron shortage problems. And the bots are doing their best. I love the bots, by the way. As soon as I figured out how the chests worked in conjunction with each other, the whole network is what I call it. The whole network just slid into pace beautifully. Yeah, we have a chip shortage act. That's why the Switch 2 hasn't come out yet. I'm telling you, it's going to come out this year. You watch. You watch. Thank you, Sakage. Always appreciate. Give me a moment, I will jot that down for dealer's choice. So, trains, right? So the first train line we built, not off the top of my head, no, Chatterbox. Hang on. Let's do some basic Googling, shall we? Let's see here. That's not telling me here. I'm just going to say no. I don't have a source on a Chatterbox. I could probably find it if you gave me time. I'm busy, so I'm not going to bother. Well, I mean, I put down the concrete. It's although your statement about the game being too brown is probably one of the reasons why. The most downloaded mod, by far, is the mod that allows you to change the biomes so it looks more colorful. Anyways, proper alarms. What's an alarm, Javan? Anyway, so first thing we did was we tried to figure out trains. None of this concrete was here. None of this stuff was here. It was just this one train line. It was actually this train line. Here, we'll speed it up a little bit. None of that existed. Because we wanted oil. So we did our very, very first train line. And this was a thing, figuring this out. Can you ride the train? Yes, you can, actually. So we got all the oil set up, and everything was cool, and all that was good. And I was pretty happy with it. We got everything plugged out. At the time, we were only producing petroleum, because that's all we had. We weren't producing light or heavy yet. And then we spent, I want to say, about 3 or 4 days trying to figure out how trains worked. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm still not 100% sure how trains work. So yeah, train comes up here, picks up some more. This is a recent addition. This is more iron. Sure, Act. I remember how to do that. Let's see. I believe the QA bot is now up. Yep, looks like it's up. Okay. I don't know what my thinking is, Don Crow, but I would say this is a great game. Because what this game is, really, is a programming game. Optimization and efficiency aren't actually mandatory, but a lot of the gameplay design is around optimizing and being efficient. Physical, I can answer that right now, Act. Yeah, logistics is a better way to put it. It's all about figuring out what connects with where and how, and really thinking about stuff you normally wouldn't. And I don't even have an example of that off the top of my head, because it's all nitty-gritty little detail stuff, which is awesome, of course, but has its own little foibles. Like little stuff, like grabbing off of a corner of a belt, for example. Okay, it's taking too long. Let's go over here. It makes a second spot over here and produces stone. We don't need that much stone. But this is probably one of my most efficient pullers. This is a very efficient stone grabber. Yeah, this game, Act. And also Satisfactory, even though Satisfactory is not done yet. Anyways, it comes back up here, drops it off. We have oodles of everything. Of course we do. How's my fuel really quick? Okay, I'm still good. I'm still good. I mentioned we haven't really figured out trains yet. One of the biggest things I'm still running into and still don't understand at all is this. So, one moment, please. No, Act. They don't exist. There are none that I know of. So, I understand how... I understand that what the lights do is they carve the rails into chunks. They carve sections of the rail in order to say only one car can be in a chunk at one point in time. Okay, cool. That's cool. I'm with it. But what I don't understand is how the hell this works. Because no matter how I beat my head into the wall of trying to make a four-way intersection so the trains don't run into each other, I couldn't figure it out. This setup of doing, the rail signal on one side, the rail chain signal on the other, and then quadding it, was something I Googled. I still don't understand why this works. So I'm willing to just go ahead and flat out say, I still, to this point, do not actually understand how the train signals work. Yeah, I saw a YouTube tutorial. There's one out there that's called 3 minutes on how train signals work, which didn't help at all. So I've stayed away from that. I can understand efficiency. I can understand flow-through. I can understand a lot of things about this game. I have absolutely no idea how the train signals work. Like, as of this moment, I can't tell you why this works. By the way, feel free to answer me if there's an answer to this, but one thing I really dislike is I can't see the chunks of the rail from here. I don't have an option to see which chunk of rail is which. The only way I could do that is if I'm placing down a fresh one. Where am I being attacked by? Cute. Press F5. Okay. Nothing happened. Anyway, so moving on. So the trains suck. Don't know how to make trains work. Moving on. We obviously use trains a lot. In fact, we completely rely on them. But I have no idea how to make rail signals work still. This little base right here, the aliens hate so much. They've been attacking this spot nonstop for real-life days. It's not even an efficient spot. This is our very first mining spot. You notice we are lined with turrets up here because they hit this spot so regularly. This is also one of the only spots that I actually have set up with an automatic repair setup. Right there. 7 bots and about 100 repair things. Literally none of the songs currently playing are from Wings of Liberty Act. All of these are from StarCraft 1. But anyways, we haven't figured out uranium yet. We've got a uranium node, one uranium node up there. And we've got a line sending it to some petroleum where we can get the necessary gas up to it. This is our current map, by the way. As you can see, the red is spreading, as it tends to. Here's the copper line, which is called David Copperfield. I didn't do that. Don't look at me. We haven't actually researched artillery yet. In fact, if you're paying attention, that is what we are currently researching. I will admit, one thing that irritates me is that nuclear power doesn't directly generate power. It generates steam, which generates power. I get it. It's still more power, but it's like... Anyways, this is the copper base. Currently, just lines of guns as usual. There's just a lines of guns theme. This is actually a fun one. So I mentioned the efficiency logistics thing earlier. Here's a really fun one. So the reason we have an entire base to get dedicated to just pulling coal, despite using very little coal, is this. So we barely use coal for anything other than producing the boilers, which then produce heat, which then produce steam, which then produce power, right? So that's that's what we need coal for. So we don't need a lot of coal, not really. But here's the deal. If we ever knock out something, you know, like a particular node or whatever, or have a sudden increase in energy requirement, like the lasers start firing, whatever, or anything around whatsoever, if we ever start to run into a power issue, what tends to happen, before we had that other spot, is our coal producers, which are these right here, so you notice most of them are dry right now, would stop mining. They were the first things that would shut down. So the supply of coal would trickle down. So we'd have a brownout, which would reduce the supply of coal, which would prevent any of this from working, which would cause a blackout. That was one of the most fascinating problems to solve for me, because the system worked perfectly as long as nothing interrupted it. No, we're not going to use any more excuse me, not going to use any more mods. This isn't actually my save, this is our save. So that's why, yeah, exactly, Java. Like I said, solving that particular problem was fascinating. I also constantly made jokes about us playing as Texas. Not going to explain that joke. What's really funny is this network up here, this one screen worth of stuff, draws an insane amount of power. Just, yikes. Was not actually expecting it to pull as much as it did, but holy crap. Anyways, that's actually kind of it. I'm really proud of this factory, believe it or not. Not because it's particularly efficient or good looking, but because it has taught me a fascinating lesson. Or rather, it's not the only thing that's taught me, but it's helped reinforce a lesson I've been learning the last year. You ready for this lesson? Because this is real life advice, okay? Here we go. One of the things I make fun of, especially in fiction, all the time, is people not planning stuff out. But what I have learned within the last year of analyzing a lot of stuff, in real life, mostly, is that there is a value in deliberately being vague in planning stuff out, and then adapting on the fly. Adapting on the fly. And that's kind of a valuable lesson. Yeah, you can't plan for everything. You don't know everything. And over-planning, which is the real thing I was going to mention. Over-planning is absolutely a problem. Being willing, that's another thing. Being willing to look at this and say, this is a flawed design. And being willing to go, and then rebuild. Because this doesn't look anything. You notice this giant space here. Or like this weird empty gap. This isn't the original form of the factory at all. This is very much something that was rebuilt, and then rebuilt, and then rebuilt. I'm actually really happy with this northern iron chain. It is extraordinarily efficient in being able to produce iron and steel. It is actually also a completely isolated network from the southern iron chain, which is this one right here, which is where we're actually having iron issues, and I've got a few thoughts on how to fix that. But I'm not going to do that, of course, because I'm not here to play the game. I'm just here to show it off. I recommend this game, by the way. It's a good game. I do have one last story to share with you, if you don't mind, though. So, last week, 2 weeks ago at this point, I was having very sick stomach, food poisoning. Couldn't do jack, couldn't work on anything. My sister calls me to make sure that I'm okay, just to check up on me and be my sister. And I'm like, yeah, hey, and she's like, you should just do something relaxing. I was like, yeah, well, I was tooling around trying out mods in Factorio. Yes, absolutely, Act. No question. This is legitimately a very good game. I'm going to show off two things in just a second. But so I'm talking about it, and she's like, oh, I think I own that game. Turns out she does. I probably bought it for her at some point. So she popped in. She popped in and joined me here. And what I started challenging her for was to set up stuff. So you see this setup right here? Now, I know all you efficiency people are going to look at this and say, oh, this is terrible. This used to be much worse. We used to be at what I call a non... shoot, I can't think of what I call it now. It wasn't fire and forget. There's a term for that, and of course I can't think of it now. Because there's stuff that's completely fire and forget, where you never have to look at it again. And then there's stuff where you have to periodically maintain it, personally. Like, it's pseudo-automated, but you still have to have oversight over it. That's what this used to be. And I was like, sis, can you solve this problem? So she came over and looked at it and was like, okay, and this game is, I want to give it a mention here. This game, yeah, go for it, Dakota. This game is so intuitive to look at and understand that having never played or seen this game before, she was able to look at the network and say, or not the network, excuse me, look at the rail line and say, why don't you do this here, pull this down over here separately, and then pull this over here. That way these two can go here, and these two go out here. And she solved the problem. What? Oh, that makes sense. And that was just the fun of that, was solving the problem. And in a lot of ways, obviously this is fun, efficiency, logistics, optimization. But a lot of this is puzzle solving. Okay, I need to make X. How do I make X? Well, to make X, I need Y. How do I make Y? To make Y, I need Z. How to make Z? Well, this. Well, how do I fit all of those on a line that's already crammed? Well, solve for B, right? And so she starts helping me solve several little tidbits like that. She helps me smooth out, where is it? The polymer, or not polymer, I always call it polymer. What is this stupid thing? The low density structure line a little bit. And, efficiency, some of this stuff. And there's all kinds of cool stuff that she helps me do. So she then pops off and makes her own game, obviously, and is like, okay, crap, how do I start? Because even though this game is very intuitive at a glance, and I stand by that, most of you who've never even played this game, you can probably understand what's going on just by looking at it for a few seconds, which is good visual design. But when you start fresh, there's a whole lot of, what do I do? Which is why the tutorial exists. So I pop on and help her with the first few very, very initial steps of, okay, look, You need to manually get coal so you can automatically get coal. You need to put a chest right here. And I just start running you through the very, very basic stuff so she can understand it. And this has become her personal, I'm just trying to chill and relax game. And so she has been doing that periodically. And I'd love to show off her game, but it's on her computer, obviously. She's a little bit before this, but not by as much as you'd think. She turned off bugs. What I mean by that is she turned off bug attacks, which, by the way, doesn't turn off bugs attacking you, we discovered. It just prevents them from attacking your base. Critical distinction. Anyways, and we just built a whole bunch while I was sick on her map. And I just find it funny that she dived into this game so much. I didn't think she'd take to it as much as she did. But yes, as Dakota mentions, there's a lot of obvious visual distinction stuff. The light yellow indicating that type of rail, the red, which is very distinct from that. Copper is a very distinct color. Iron is a very distinct color. Coal is a very distinct color. And most of the basics of what a furnace is or a factory are very visually distinct from each other. So you can tell immediately these are furnaces down here, and these are factories up here, and so forth and so on. Oh, I agree, Javan. You'll notice we do not have bugs turned off. But that's how she wants to play, and the option exists, and that's how options are. So, info in game. So, let me share something. You can go ahead and make fun of me for this. I kept looking for a mod to see this. I was constantly looking for a mod to show me this screen. And I couldn't find a mod. Not all of them sucked, and a lot of them were like manual programmed to punch out into these digit counter things, and I'm like, I don't need any of this. I want this screen. How do I get this screen? Wednesday. This last Wednesday, I figured out that if you click a frickin' power node like I just did, you get this screen. Anyways, info in-game. Most of the information is in-game. If I mouse over something, it tells me exactly how many of what items it needs in terms of finished process. It also tells me exactly how many items it needs in terms of raw resources. It tells me it's the reach of the pole, the supply area of the pole, and how much time the raw resources would take to make, and how much time the item itself takes to make. All of this information is here pretty much immediately available. I would say that I'm not sure there's any info in-game problems in this game, other than the fact that you kind of do want to play the tutorial. Now you're probably thinking, but Lore, you've played the tutorial. Yeah, I did. I still didn't know the power thing. That's why you can make fun of me. But you also played the train tutorial. Make fun of. We're walking. We're walking. Oh, I should probably mention, I play with item showcase on. You can turn that off. I have no idea why you'd ever do this. I like options, but this option makes no sense to me. Why would you ever play with that off? It's Alt, by the way. I get that question a lot. Alt. Shows what items are where. Why would you ever turn that off? Look at that. God. Anyways. I am currently still recovering from being sick, E-Tree. But anyways, I think that's my last big story. Like I said, this is the game me and Pax are playing right now. I'm not sure. Oh no, right. So I talked to Gary about playing this game. You know what Gary's response was? No. I would lose myself in that game. And let me just say, that is a very real threat of this game. This is definitely a game that you can lose yourself in. Gary is a programmer, by the way. Yeah, that playthrough there is only 40 hours for a bit of perspective. I was playing, so you notice I've got this going on over here. Yeah, exactly, Venters. Good idea, Captain Crispy. Good idea. I don't know if this is going to do this properly, so let's try something. So you notice This is the space mod. There's actually a mod for space exploration. Let's see if it works properly, because there's one last thing I wanted to show off, and I think this will do it. Yes, okay. This game, okay, let's rewind a second. Way back in the day, we played a game called Rimworld. Rimworld was... Oh, I agree with that, absolutely, Act. Rimworld was a very mod-supportive game, and we got into a big discussion about how to review mod support when it comes to the review process we have, how many positives in what categories it gets. And we decided that there's a difference between something having mods and, having a structure for mods, and something that actively goes out of its way to support mods, right? Like something, Elder Scrolls, for example, has always been like, here's the dev kit, right? World of Warcraft goes out of its way to keep the mod community up to date on API changes, right? This game, so check this out. Before I actually hit that button, let's back this off. I kept trying to figure out how to get mods in this game, and I kept failing at it because I was assuming that, like every other game ever, you get mods outside of the game. But you don't. You get mods from the mods button. I've actually seen that video twice, Dakota. So, there's the mods for Factorio. Right here. You can sort them by last updated, trending, downloads. Check for updates if you want to. And you can manage your mod load out here. It's just there. Now that's already awesome, but hang on, it gets better. Because if you try to load a game that has a different mod loadout than yours, a button pops up that says, do you want to sync to the mods of that setup? It's going to take a second to load, because this is a big mod. But the point is, that is amazing. It's not as perfect as it should be. I actually wish there was ways to set up mod states, which near as I can tell there is not. But the fact that I can just load a save and it just syncs the mods that are active to that state is fantastic. Well, yeah, so for example, now I've got all those space mods on, right, Jonathan? So if I go to load, for example, my save, it won't try to sync to save because I've already got the mods on that save has. It will just assume that all the mods on are now being turned on for that save. So I don't have a preset of this is my co-op game, this is my space exploration game. So I have to manually turn everything off and then manually turn on the specific ones I want for the co-op game. That's all. It's a minor nitpick. It's not even going to be a negative. It's just going to be an absence of a positive. But that's my point. It's the only feature this doesn't have, and that's awesome. That's a good question. I don't know yet, Ect, because I haven't played a Paradox game since they added that, because that's actually relatively recent. That's also, I do know that, Dakota, because I've actually already done that. I got the cat mod just for PAX, just because I thought it would amuse him. But anyways, I don't think any game has that, Chopin. Although, no, that's not true. World of Warcraft has that. Sorry, I forgot about that. Because WoW has ludicrously good mod support, as I've said many times. It's one of their better features. Anyways, so that's the last thing I want to show off. That is such a fantastic feature. Holy crap. I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, space exploration. Let's go ahead and turn off all the mods that I just turned on. So let's turn off everything. Go. So I've got bottleneck, belt visualizer. Some idiot was an asshole, Javan, and committed a crime, an actual legal crime, to get back at one person, and admitted it. That's the summary. Fluid memory, memory storage, and I believe that's it. Oh no, jetpack. Yep, jetpack, there we go. And that's what I want. So there's another game I'm going to plug here, if you're okay with that. If you're not okay with that, why are you watching me? Why are you here? Why? I don't understand. Although, I'm not going to show it off, but this is a good time to mention that Raft is a good game. Raft is one of those fascinating games. Because Raft is not a polished game. It is, in fact, a very crude game. But the core design underneath the obvious amateurness is actually quite good. A lot of real thought and effort was put into making Raft a good game. It's just the presentation of the game sucks. And that's my review of Raft in 5 seconds. Me and Pax have actually already beaten Raft, and I believe we're going to try and convince Gary to play, as we're going to do a 4-player. We're going to add that to our 4-player list to play through Raft, I think. Depends on if Gary's into it. He's kind of the outlier there, because I know Don's into it, and I'm into it, and Pax is into it. Oh, by the way, somebody asked, currently we're playing through Streets of Rogue, which is more complicated than I can explain in one sentence. That's what I'm going to say about that one. Okay, I got to remember the name of this game. Sorry, I've got a few hundred games to go through. Let me find this game really quick here. It's okay, I fleeced this list recently. You know you can do that? You can just remove games from your list, so it's like not there anymore. It's always been a problem, I just didn't understand why, because I didn't know what a frame rate was until I started getting into tassing, actually. Because it never really connected with me. I know that sounds strange, because of course I would know what frames are, because I used to do video editing for a television show. But for some reason it never connected with me that frames, or I guess frames per second, was a thing for video games, because after all, the NES and the SNES were both 60 FPS games, or consoles rather. My personal favorite, so Don likes to play as the robot, Javan. My personal favorite to play as is either the zombie or the soldier. I know the soldier is super boring, but that heal, oh my god. Zombie's fun, though. Problem is, zombie's not very conducive to anyone else being in the group. There's Satisfactory, which I'm not going to show off. I guess I could. Sure, whatever. 20 gigs, that shouldn't take long to download. Yeah, having mobster and cop at the same time did not work. There needs to be a little bit of coordination in party choice. I'm also going to plug the Wild 8 really quick. You should go play the Wild 8 if you're interested in good survival games. It is a game that has a story and a progression of campaign. What is the brand of my EPS? I don't know. Now, I could physically go up and go look, but it's actually easier for me to just search my order history here. I use an APC. That's the brand I use. So I'm trying to find a game and I don't know the name of it. And that's the problem I'm having. Is that it? No. Is that it? No. Probably not. Think Satisfactory in space, Dakota. Hey, Radisvik. You're on an asteroid. You can fly it around to grab other asteroids. It's an early access game, so I've only played it briefly. No, it's a good UPS. Space Engineers? I don't appear to own that game. Ixion? No. I think I own Ixion, but I haven't played it yet. Oh yeah, speaking of which, I want to give some quick praise to Per Aspera. So while I was super sick, I was poking at different games to play while I was sick, because I just wanted to chill, right? I poked at Per Aspera for about 30 minutes and decided I needed to save it for the stream because it already impressed me. That's all I'm going to say about it right now. I look forward to it, to when we get there. I'm going to have to just hit Google at this point. Holy crap. I'm up to the L's already. Satisfactory is already done downloading. No, it's not Hard Space Shipbreaker. I'm the guy on that yet. Astro Colony, is that it? Of course, it'd be in the A's. I was going down to up. Because, of course, I was. It's Astro Colony. God damn it! I started at the Z's, Javin, and I was just going up to the frickin'... Let's show off Satisfactory while that's downloading. Okay. Thank you, Monobrand. Alright, yeah, I know. I understand this is an early access game here. Hang on, let me turn the music back on. There's actually in-game music I turned off. I have a tendency to turn off music for build games. Not because it's bad. I mean, as we showed off during Surviving Mars, that kind of music can be very, very legit. But when I just want to chill, sometimes I just want to listen to my own music. Okay, so here's Satisfactory. Now, this game is early access, which is why I stopped playing it. It looks like it's not 16 by 9. Why aren't you 16 by 9? Okay. How about that? Although, actually... that might work. Let's go down here instead. Hey, there we go. Turn off motion blur, because screw motion blur. Alright, so continue. Yeah, Factorio, there's a reason Factorio was muted. Okay, so first of all, first cool thing. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? He should be like right here. Okay, well I don't know why he's not here, but if you're doing a co-op game, maybe it's because I loaded it in single player. Your other player, when they're not playing, when they're not active, they actually are here. Like they're physically present in wherever they logged off, which I just thought was kind of neat. Also means you can screw with them, but that's neither here nor there. So anyways, this is Satisfactory. This is directly inspired by Factorio. That's from the devs, not me. It's a little bit more first-person 3D-y. It's also an unfinished game, which is why we put it down. I don't like to play early access games until they're finished. I can explain why if I have to. Drills, or processors, processed materials, which is currently going to nowhere because we were in the middle of building stuff. I love the crap out of this game, by the way. It's a little bit less intuitive than Factorio, because you can't tell just at a glance what's going on. I do like the fact that later on you get a jetpack just built in. I obviously do not have that yet. One thing I've noticed, and I didn't really quite recognize early on, is that you are apparently designed, like they actually expect you to set up catwalks and, you know, roam around the catwalks to do stuff. Me, I didn't quite get to the catwalk point. But I did usually carry one of these around on me at any given point in time. So I could just look around and be like, okay, what's going on here? Because being able to get up and see what you're doing is very important. Also, you can build at this range. You can build up to about like that range. You've got a decent amount of range for your construction. But yeah, this was all a thing. One of the other things that this game has... Excuse me. What the hell is a foundation, Javin? One of the other things that this game has, similar to Factorio, is the storage containers. Now, they're a little bit different, because storage containers in... is that so choppy? Storage containers in Factorio are like these tiny little squares that just take up one little space and have fairly limited space. Here, there are these giant chonkers which have substantially more space. They also make up a large amount of trying to figure out the layout and efficiency and optimization of things. What the hell's a grid, Jonathan? You have no idea how hard it... Actually, you probably do know exactly how hard it was to figure out how to get things lined up, you know, so that they are as straight as possible. They're actually not. They're close. They're close. Look, the line only has to bend a little bit. See? See? It's kind of straight. I'm particularly proud of this one. When I laid this conveyor belt, which I stress works, it didn't go through the ground. I swear. Like when you have when you're building it and it's got like the outline, it actually went above ground the whole way. It's just, you know. And here's our copper production. Pretty much all our copper comes from over here. Oh yeah, one thing I do love is the way you can do the icons on the map. This is a cool feature. And you can set it so it shows either when you're so far away from it or when you're close to it, or just in general. Like I said, John, when I laid this, it was above ground. It still works. It's still good. Cable management is fast. So in Factorio, you don't really need to do cable management, at least not until you start really becoming efficient with your power networks. In this game, cable management is something from ground zero. So check this out. Each of those little nodes is where those connect, right? But most spots can only take one connection. If you've got something like this, which is a power pole, it can take, I believe, 4? Try to remember how to do this. 4, yeah, right there. So that includes the power coming in and the power coming out, if you want this to be a conveyor line. So the game automatically makes it so that you need to be thinking about which power lines are going to be conveyors that are just there to get power to other spots, and which power lines are going to actually provide power to individual machines, right? So like this is just a conveyor line. It just tends power out there. But this is a provider power, and it does all sorts of stuff like that. And it's cool. It's awesome. It's a great little feature. Because it makes power part of the gameplay, for lack of a better way to put it. Now, having said all that, there is no tutorial for this game. So, who wants to hear the biggest problem we had when we first started this game? You know, Pax and I loaded it up. Yeah, I'll even demonstrate, because this was a thing. So we actually didn't spawn in here. We roamed over here because there was an iron node, and we decided to build on the iron node. We spawned in over there. I'm not going to do the whole run, because it's a run, but we, like, over there, right? You see where that arch is? We spawned in over there. There were enemies immediately trying to kill us. I died because I couldn't figure out how to do anything, really. So that sucked. One second, I'm going to switch something here really quick, because this is being stuttery. I don't like it being stuttery. Stop being stuttery. Quit it. Quit with the stuttering. That's better. A little bit. Anyways. I missed nothing, Spartan. Excuse me. Yes, you can kill those things. You can kill anything in this game. But, you start off with few weapons and very few anything. And I spawned on some enemies, which immediately killed me. I was like, okay, that sucked. And then Pax spawns in. He doesn't spawn in where I spawn in. He spawns in here. Like, right around here. And so we're just trying to find each other. And trying to figure out how to progress. And how to not be killed. Then we start like, okay, so let's go over here. Let's just get away from all this nonsense. Okay, so we're away from the nonsense. Oh, thank God. Okay, so let's go ahead and build our very first building, which is this one. You know, the basic, whatever the hell this stupid thing is. Okay, cool. It's got a hub terminal, but it doesn't have a craft bench. That's strange. Well, no problem. We'll just build a craft bench. Okay, cool. All right, so let's remember what the build button is. It's something really dumb, I remember. Oh God, what's the build button? There it is. Okay, so we're gonna build a craft bench. Cool, cool, cool. All right, why isn't it letting me put the craft bench here? And it's probably not obvious, but in the original base loadout we had, there was a really obvious space for a craft bench. So we couldn't place it. Now, I don't remember what we did, to be completely honest. But eventually, yeah, exactly. But eventually we figured it out and we could just plot it down here. I don't remember what the issue was anymore, but there was some issue with how it wouldn't let us place anything anywhere. So we spent, honestly, probably about 20 minutes trying to figure out whatever issue that was. I think it was an interface issue. Something was set somewhere where it was like, you can't place stuff unless X. Figured that out. It's like, okay, crafting bench, okay. And then we discovered the joys of making things manually. Because you can make things automatic, right? Like you can set up the line, get the ore, and then get the process stuff. But, you know, that takes some time. And honestly, I just really need screws right now. So I'm just going to make screws right now. And this is making stuff manually. Oh, yeah, no, exactly, John. What we ended up started doing is I would be, you know, architect. I would sit down and be like, okay, let's get this and this and this, and I would give him a wish list. I'd say, here's what we need. He would go up to the crafting bench and just make it manually, and then he'd dump it in the chest here. And it's like, here's what we have. Here's what we need. Okay, cool. And that's how we would do it. I mean, I say early on. We're still obviously very early on. So you're probably wondering why I was playing this game at all, despite it being in early access. Oh, sorry, I didn't say updating. It's Satisfactory. There, updated. Anyways, the reason we were playing this at all is because I was lied to. Somebody was like, hey, Laura, this game is in a finished state. I know it says early access, but the game is done. And I was like, oh, cool. I've encountered that before, and I believe you. So I will go ahead and believe everything you say. What are we making right now? Ah, reinforced iron plates. Okay. Yeah, no, I was literally lied to about this. And I was like, yeah, cool, sure. So I started playing it. And then I was looking up something completely unrelated to anything. I don't even remember what it was right now. Oh, yeah, by the way, real quick. You know the one thing I like about this? Sprint is a toggle. So I was looking up something completely unrelated, and not only did I find out that this is a very unfinished game, as in, like, you get to a certain point of the tech tree, and it stops because there are techs and entire tiers that aren't even in the game yet. But also, one of the things that they plan to do is eventually add a pseudo-campaign mode, similar to something like Subnautica. So this game is extraordinarily unfinished. So that night, I turned to PAX, and I'm like, PAX, we're done. And I haven't played it since, not counting right now. So that's Satisfactory. Still a good game. By the way, I do still recommend it. I should probably fix my camera. As funny as it is to look at sharks. Because sharks are amazing. Just gonna scooch us over here. There we go. I don't know if they'll add tutorials. It's a good question. But I want to show this other one. So this is another definitely in alpha. There you go. Like, this is a very in alpha game. So much so that I myself have actually given some feedback to it. Because it's, there are parts of its, like the throughput of certain production of certain tech trees that are what I can only refer to as wrong. you know, that need redesign. Yeah, Astro Colony is a great game theory, great game idea, which I'm looking forward to being finished someday. And that's why I'm going to show it off, because I still think it's worth showing off. It's apparently we're stuck in 16:9 here. Let's fix the frame rate first of all. There we go. That should hopefully fix a few things. But that means we're going to have to go back up to 16:9. There we go. There's Astro Colony. Yeah, let's fix that. That's actually 16:10. I don't know why it's in 16:10. I don't even care. Whatever. I'm just going to do that. But yeah, this is definitely a solid start to a game. I can tell you that because I'm going to show it off real quick. Continue. Yes, please. So, I'm a little bit into the game. I've actually played this for a few hours. So, first of all, flying around is default because you're in space. This is the core function of the game. Here's your tutorial bot. Your tutorial bot is completely useless at the moment, so we're just going to turn that off because it kind of sucks. So you start off on this dinky little base with a couple of little nodes that you can go ahead and harvest and mine, and that's cool. Why did the music stop? Oh, because I turned it off. There we go. Let's turn that back on. There we go. Ahem. Your initial harvesting is from these little asteroids. You can see that one right there has 6 copper, for example. You can see in the upper right. That one has 3 coal. That one down there has 4 ice and 4 gold, looks like. That one has 3 ice and 4 iron, etc. This doesn't exist. That's a graphics bug. Yeah, getting started in gold is a thing. And carbon, excuse me, not coal. I don't know why I said coal. You do mining. Mining actually gains you science. This is one of the better ideas of the game. Doing stuff gets you different types of science. And just basic mining gets you basic science. So that's cool. Later science, a little trickier. Also, there's a little bit of a delay for certain parts of the game because alpha. I do love the way that storage... So this is a storage facility. And I love that it actually propagates based on what's in it. This is really cool. Hang on, let me change this so that Woo doesn't yell at me again. There we go. Update that to Astro Colony. Because you can tell I've got the copper wiring and the stone and the iron wiring and a lot of plates, gold plates especially, in here. Figuring out how to do... You can tell I didn't know how to do circuit networks originally and was still trying to figure out what the hell I was doing with some of this early stuff. Got a little more used to it later. A little bit more organization later. Figuring out how to dock was a thing because the in-game instructions are actually wrong. This was probably one of the earliest, like, clear to progression points. So you got these things. The way it works normally is you set it up, and you go grab an asteroid. You have to manually grab it. And, yeah, exactly, Chavin. You should see my water layout. Check it out. You can tell this started off differently than it currently is. Anyways, so you start off with these little suckers, and they manually grab an asteroid, and then they start processing it. So you can have the beginnings of automation, and then eventually you get things that automatically grab and start processing. And so now you've got a fresh, a reliable source of resources. And then that's when you start to get the part of automation in the thing. You get the factories going, which get the power going, and then you get to start processing things and everything's cool. Yes, those solars are under a platform. Shush. This is me starting to figure out how platforms and catwalks work. But unfortunately, there are several very severe bugs in this game. So you notice this worker bot, who is currently, this transporter bot, who is currently just standing here. I'm trying to remember the buttons. There's a button that will show me what they're doing and why. I don't remember what that button is right now. Is that it? Nope, that's the map. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. I don't remember what the button is. There's a button that shows you what they're doing and why. Is it tab? Is it C? E? Nope, that's research. That's the scanner pulls. That's that. I don't even know what that is. That's how we build stuff manually. I know there's a way to do this. Maybe I just need to have a different item equipped? Which I don't remember how to switch my item either. The interface in this game, honestly, is kind of problematic. It's something that absolutely needs a polishing pass or two. That's it, maybe? Nope. No, that's how you deconstruct stuff. I don't remember. There's a way to see, but you notice how that bot has been sitting here the entire time since I've loaded? It's because the pathing on the bots is so terrible that it actually is impossible to prevent them from bugging out. That's how bad the pathing is. You think about StarCraft 1 having bad pathing? No. Eventually that Dragoon will figure out how to go up there. In this game, the pathing hits a straight 30 go to 10, and there's no getting it out of it. There's no fixing this. The whole reason I have this catwalk was to try and fix that problem. That's its whole purpose, is to try and prevent them from getting completely soft-locked. It didn't work. This is actually about the point. This is one of the last things I did before I put it down, because I kind of needed these worker bots to be transporting resources around in order to be able to get stuff working and functioning, and it just wasn't happening. But anyways, so you can set up drills on these little like platforms, like this thing over here, and you can. This is actually a planetoid, which has way more resources, as you can see. It's not set up right now. But you can drill tons and tons of stuff from this and get much more resources, which gets you much more research. And, oh yeah, this is another problem I ran into. So you get people eventually. These people are and have been starving since they first showed up, because providing food for them either is badly designed or relies on RNG, or both, depending on how you think about that. Yeah, colonists, so first of all, their pathing is even worse than the bots. Second of all, their needs requirement is bonkers. I know that sounds strange, but how do these people need so much food? But no, trust me, when I say that these people need too much food, I mean it. They also don't seem to have any idea how to take care of themselves, even though you have no direct control over them. They're fully automated. So there's a problem there. And like I said, I just kind of started running into the wall of where the game didn't have design. But allow me to say that I do like the core design of this game, and to kind of show that off a little bit. Let me show you a new game. So we'll just do... I'll turn off the tutorial bot for a second. So this is how a new game looks. Skippable cutscenes, of course.
Believing that one planet would be enough for us was wrong. Our colossal ambitions pushed us to leave our homes. Driven by the need of development and achievements, humanity seeks opportunities to discover new worlds and perhaps new dimensions. We are the first colonists, laying the foundation for future generations. It's your turn now. Show your survival skills, unlock technologies, and remember, the galaxy is yours to conquer.
Yeah, I like this. Implications. There's not much here, but there's some interesting implications about the setting. And then you get kicked out onto this platform that's been prepared for you. And then they leave. Congratulations, you are now alone on a platform in space. Now, if you're paying careful attention last time, and I don't blame you if you weren't. Oh god, I don't remember how to mine. There we go. You may have noticed that I had a bubble surrounding my sphere. That was providing oxygen. Oh my god. Early gold. Holy crap. But the relevant point here is that I am no longer being provided oxygen. In a similar manner to Raft, which starts you off in a manner where you can lose if you don't pick up things quickly, you can just die from lack of oxygen. You can see in the lower left. You can just die if you run out of oxygen this early. Granted, you kind of have to work at it to do it, but I love the atmosphere of effectively just throwing you out and being like, well, figure it out. Subnautica is kind of like that, but Subnautica gives you several in-betweeny stuff, right? Like you start off with a couple of things of purified water and food packs in the escape pod. You don't get that here. Same thing with Raft. You start with nothing. Speaking of which, I need to start figuring out what I'm doing. So I want to build oxygen. Where oxygen production is. Yeah, exactly, Javan. Have fun. Think about how many people die doing this. So there's the oxygen barrier, which obviously I can't get yet. Why can't I build stuff? Why can't I build anything? That's why. Okay, so hang on. So let's go grab some copper and some iron. Yeah, so the tutorial bot you can turn off. I actually showed that off already. It's unironically one of the biggest things I recommend you do if you pick up this game and start playing it now. Because the tutorial bot is well-meaning but kind of useless. It also reminds me of... Oh, what game did that? There's another game where the tutorial was like... All right, oh, Starbound. Where the tutorial just sort of assumes a lot of things that it probably shouldn't. So it's like, all right, here's how you build a fire. Here's how you build a workbench. Okay, now build an engine. Okay, now build a spaceship. And you're like, hold up. I feel like you skipped a few steps there. Okay, so now I should be able to make some stuff, maybe. I feel like there's a menu I'm not pulling up that I need. And that's because I am. So I've got 6 more. Let's get... Let me grab that. And I guess that as well, while we're at it. Hey, okay, so let's get an oxygen generator, which I need 2 smelted things. So I need to be able to smelt. So let's figure out how to smelt stuff. We also need to be able to get that. Okay, so... I'm trying to remember how to smelt stuff. I should be able to smelt from my inventory, shouldn't I? Am I misremembering? I'm probably misremembering. I apologize. Item. Ah! There we go. Yep, nope, this is what I was looking for. So, this is cool. Because I wanted to show this off, and I couldn't find the damn thing. So you notice, I can just make stuff. But what I love about this is completely fire and forget, similar to Factorio. For those of you who didn't see me do it, because I didn't show it off because I'm stupid, in Factorio, you just fire off, you know, I want to make 300 of X, and then it does that while you're running around doing stuff. Really quick, thank you, Shenizaga. Happy Double New Year. I will put that towards Stellaris, if you give me one moment, please. But here, you can specifically say, okay, I need iron bar, made by hand, and I want 4. So I can just queue up 4 iron bars. You can also set it to infinite. And this is the distinction between this and Factorio, is that you can just set it so that every time you mine iron ore, it automatically starts processing that in your inventory into iron bars. So that is actually a cool feature, which I am in favor of. All right, so let's get a bit of power going. No, don't do that. Don't do that. There we go. And let's go ahead and dump in some carbon. No, don't. There we go. So now we're producing electricity. Woo! Now we need to make oxygen. How do we make oxygen? Well, that's a good question. So to make oxygen, we're going to want to make an oxygen maker thing, which is right here. So we need 2 more irons. Let's go make some more iron happen. Iron, iron, iron. Here we go. And I'm going to go and just do that infinite thing I just mentioned. Just be turning those into bars in my inventory. One thing I have discovered in Factorio, going back to that logistics thing, is that there are certain things you really should make in a production facility. Like anything that takes a large amount of copper wire, holy crap. Okay, so now we're going to make an oxygen generator, which I don't have enough for some reason. Oh, that's because I need copper, because I'm blind. Doesn't quite have the same visual distinction that Factorio does. So let's go make some copper. Let's make sure we're producing copper. There we go. Oh yeah, I'm actually going to do exactly that, Java, just to show it off. That's probably going to be when I pop out of this. There we go. And then, speaking of which, asteroid catching. I think. No, hang on. Is the harpoon what I want? Is Giga Pudding what I want? I do want Giga Pudding. No, not like that. Unless... Thank you, Giga Pudding. Where's my lines? I will go ahead and add Hi-Fi Rush to the list. I've already looked into it. I already know what it is. You got it. Okay, so... is what I'm looking for. Looks like that is what I want. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get asteroid catching. And that's it for the moment. So we're running low on oxygen. You notice we're at less than half oxygen. Now, granted, I did turn the tutorial bot off, but... there we go. So I'm trying to remember how this works. Now we want to get a little bit of water production. But I want to show off what asteroid catching is like really quick. So that's going to be that over here. Oh yeah, I can just use ice to refill oxygen early on. I forgot about that. So that's how you refill oxygen at the very, very, very beginning. Well, where's my lines, Giga? You're the butterfly. Go make the butterfly happen. All right, so I do need power for this. So let's, I believe I need copper wire. So let's go ahead and make a little bit of copper wire really quick. So I tried Crestorio, and I think I screwed it up. Or I'm an idiot. Because it looked like it wanted me to be too manual early on. And I don't play Factorio to be manual. That being said, I did like what I've played of the space overhaul so far, Shinizaga. Okay, right, so I need to build a little bit of... categories are... there we go. Copper. Okay, we're producing power, we're producing things. So this is what I was trying to talk about earlier. Bzzz. And then you pull in the asteroid, and you can't see it because it's right there. And then it starts processing that asteroid for you. So it's not actually completely automated yet, like I was showing you on my save. But this is like that pseudo-automated step I talked about earlier. Exactly, Java. Well, no, that's exactly what I ran into, Dakota. I was like, yay, now what? Oh, I have to sit here for a while. And I decided to try out the space one instead. I don't have infinite time. I also have been getting a lot of work done. Speaking of which, the Diablo rewrite is actually pretty close to being done. I anticipate, as long as I get some lines in, that we'll be done with the Diablo rewrite in about a month. I shouldn't say that because I just cursed myself. But I'm at the point where all I need is lines. So that's the step we're at. Oh, Jesus, really, Taquita? See, I was excited because space exploration I didn't run out of the problem earlier. But, well... well, what do you want to know, Radisvik? Because I do need more actors. Anyway, so this is Astro Colony. It's a cool game. It will hopefully someday be an actually good game. It is definitely early access right now. Now let's go ahead and uninstall this. What is this resolution? This isn't 16 by 9 or 4 by 3. Well, first you have to be on the rewrite Discord, Radisvik. That's the hardest step. Then you have to send in a mic test, which is actually fairly self-explanatory. It's so I can hear the quality of your mic and your recording setup, as well as your voice. Then, then you wait for an audition phase, which was 3 weeks ago now for us. 4 weeks ago. God, it's February, isn't it? It was early January. But obviously, since there are still roles that have not yet been assigned to someone, those are still available. I know we still need a role for Diablo. And I don't remember who else. I'd have to look the list, which I have right here. So we still need Durile, Diablo, Zoltan Cool, Jazareth, and Zool. All need actors. Worst comes to worst, I'll just voice Zoltan Cool and Zool myself. I'm already pretty lined up to give Night Forager to Jazareth, or Jazareth to Night Forager. I know Trey has been trying out for Diablo, and Talia Zed was trying out for Durile. But other than that, okay, so how do I get this into a thing that doesn't suck? Give me a second. Like I said, this game's a little rough around the edges. Good game, rough around the edges. So make of that what you will. Raft. I am currently at the actively coughing up crowd phase, Gigapudding. It's fun. Alright, so let's see if we can fit this into 4x3 really quick here. Is this 4x3 or 5x4? It's 4x3. Okay, cool. So this is Raft. I just want to show off the raft we built really quick. This is obviously at the end of the game. In fact, we've already beaten the game. Because there is a campaign and a story. There's even bosses in this game. You know what I love most about this? All the campaign, story, boss stuff, completely optional. Okay, right, here we are. I know where I am. So, ignore that shark. It's cool. We're cool. This is our base, or our raft, excuse me. Ignore that. Whoa, I am thirsty. Let's fix that. There we go. Excuse me. So, damn it. Screw it, I'm just gonna do this. Looks like it just became nighttime. Yeah, I can't show off anything because it's nighttime. If anybody has any problems with empty, infinite oblivion sea in all directions, don't play this game. Let's make it daytime. And if you're wondering why I say that, well, let we get onto the third story of our raft here, so you can look off into the endless abyss of the sea in all directions. Yeah, anyways. So now that we're getting a little bit of light, I'll show off the inside tour. So first of all, we've got the little catchers for resource collection completely lining the raft. Oh, I should update the thing again. There we go. So, this way, pretty much just as we sail around, we gather resources. That's the whole point. This actually took an astonishingly large amount of time to make, because these things are not cheap. And we have a fairly large raft, relative to us anyways. Obviously, we have engines. I'll show that off more in a moment. There's our fuel. This is where we produce fuel. Very important. Over here is where we produce water. This was one of the biggest game changes. Once we got the water purifier, which of course requires battery, but once we got that, oh, that was a sea change, because then we start to set up piping, and we've got actually like a water spigot over here, and of course we've got water going up the stairs, which I'll show off in a moment. This is our anchor, which I believe is down right now. I don't know what this is. Apparently this is a bathtub. Got it. Cool. Oh, geez, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. Oh, God. Hang on. Jesus. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually in the ceiling right now. There we go. Had to find the crouch button. We're good. We're good. Little rough. Little rough. Sure, Ratisvik. Give me 1 second. I'll send you a link. You've got whispers turned on, right? Or are you on the regular Discord? Dude, this game is so rough around the edges. I still praise this game. It still has good core gameplay and good co-op. But it is extraordinarily rough around the edges. Alright, Ratisvik. Looks like you were not in the base Discord, so I'll have to send you a whisper. So give me a second here. No. Hang on. Oh yeah, this is whatever the opposite of AAA is, that's this. No, the extant stuff is on the base Discord, and honestly, nobody cares about that, Ratisvik. Nobody cares about that. Yeah, single A. You've heard of indie? Well, this is single A. It's even further down. Okay, whisper and link. There you go. If you don't have it, you have whispers turned off. Okay. I mean, I could go too, Spartan, but you know how it is. Right now, we're focusing on the rewrites. Those are getting a lot more attention. So, I'm actually pretty proud of how this looks, and that's a shame because Pax did it. He's the one who did all the decor, so he gets the credit. But, you know, we've got our little cooking center. We've got our storage section. These are actually individual chests which have been manually placed on the edges here. You notice they're not perfectly lined up. That's because they were manually placed here. We got the actual big storage chest, which is great. Food, more crafting, more craft. There's lots of crafting. We've got a little table. Each one of these things is individually set up. This is kind of awesome. We've got little paintings here, you know. We've got the good luck cat. Lord knows we need it. We've got a llama, which we can carry. And we can stop carrying. We can also shear it if we had the tool on me, which of course we don't. We also got a thing. That took more to get things done. So this may sound strange, but this is perfectly set up to water those plants over there. Or rather, those plants. And then this one is set up to harvest those plants. And then by harvest, I mean to water, excuse me. Right now, all we're producing is flowers, because we have infinite food in the form of killing monsters and sharks and eating them. This is also where we turn all our junk into plastic. And of course, we produce honey. You might think, why do you need honey? So this is my biggest pro tip here. Honey is the biggest bottleneck for fuel. Fuel requires honey, right? You need to you need raw food. I recommend heads. You can just dump heads in there, but you need honey. So, anyways, upstairs, and here's our top floor. We've got a little bird who checks out things. We've got some sconces so we can see at night. We've got a trophy. Gotta have a trophy. We've got the plank, in case we need to kill anybody. This is our battery refill spot. So this is a very late game thing. The windmill generates infinite free electricity. And we use this to refill our batteries. This is one of the last things you get. It's like the second to last thing you get. It's got a little chill spot. Just chill, hang out, relax. This is where we go fishing. There's another tub. We gotta have tubs. Gotta have tubs. But the thing I'm most proud of is not the toilet on the back, packs out of there. It's actually the helm. So this is very carefully set up, and this uses a lot of in-game stuff. So we've got the radar, which is exactly what it is, a radar. It shows you the distance in meters to any nearby island that it can detect. We've also got something that can scan for specific coordinates. This is how you get to the plot stuff. And then there's Mr. Nuclear. He's cool. But we've also got this little thing. So we, on the right side, on the left side, we have the thing to turn on the engines. And on the right side, we have the thing to lift the anchor. And then we steer from here. And I know this is so basic, but you have to understand, none of this was default. We had to design this. We had to design this helm. And we had to putting it up here, putting it on its little elevated spot, so it can actually see where it's going. And having access to the engine control and the anchor control right here. And being able to switch from reverse to back. Having the radar so we can just check. Okay, so here we're going. So we've got... actually, it looks like there's one right about here, so let's just go a little bit more starboard. And then this way, there we go. Yep, and we should run directly into an island in about 800 meters. And this all took design. We had to do this. Without it, well here, let me just go ahead and turn off the engine. You'll just naturally drift in whatever direction the wind takes you, which at the moment appears to be that away. In fact, it's probably directly that away. Where's the... Oh, there it is. We've also got this here, so you can see which direction the wind's going in. We used to have sails. The sails have since been completely supplanted by the engines. Because we've actually got two of them. And I looked up the math. This is the most speed we can have is two engines working alongside each other like this. And they have to be kept filled with biofuel, because duh. But biofuel's pretty easy to come by at a certain point. So the wind is going that way. So hang on, so let's try to adjust so we're looking at the wind. No, once you hit a certain speed, you're maxed on speed. Now, you can mod the game to bypass that max. Looks like about there-ish. A little more to the right, a little more to the right. Looks like this is the direction that the wind's just taking us right now. And we can see the island disappearing into the distance there. And of course we can just hurry the hell up. Where's this tending us? This doesn't take us anywhere. Another little tidbit, little fact that you probably pick up on anyways, but I'm just telling you just in case. So the debris spawns at a certain radius from wherever the raft is in front of where the raft's going when it hits that point. What I mean by that is if I go in this direction for a while and then I suddenly veer to the right, for a bit you'll see debris in the path I was going, not in the path I am going, because that's where it spawned. No, I could steer it, but I had to get the steering thing, which is this. Early on, you can steer with the sail, but there's only so much you can do to go against the wind with the sail, right? And at a certain point, you're stuck. And this is Raft. I'm also pretty proud of the color scheme. This is all dyed, obviously, red and black. Normally, everything just looks like lumber, like this right here. Oh, I meant to... Oh, whatever. Also, fun little fact. So if you dive off into the water, there's nothing! Except for the shark, of course. The shark is always there. The combat with the shark is very badly designed, of course. Oh, and if you're wondering, yes, it is possible to get left behind by your raft. Here's another little fun fact about this game. The game world is centered around the raft, not you. What that means is it is possible, although actually pretty difficult to do, that if you get lost, if you get stuck behind the raft and you don't recover, that eventually the world will stop rendering where you are. And by world, of course, I mean the water. Early on, Pax and I had problems where, you know, because you try to get all the resources early on, which mostly involves throwing up the hook, which I don't even have in my inventory at this point. And, you know, just whoosh, and you try to drag these resources in so you can actually use them and craft stuff. But sometimes I'd dive into the water to be like, oh no, we missed that resource, I better go get it. And then I'd go get the resource. And then I'd be trying to catch up to the raft. Now, obviously I can now, because I have all of the swimming gear on, if you're wondering. But when you don't have any of the swimming gear, your swim speed is about a quarter of what I was just doing. Which means I would never catch up to the raft. I'm going to go ahead and kill the engines there. Anyways, that's Raft. I really don't have much else to add to it. There's a, like I said, there's a whole campaign with a whole story mode, which I'm not going to spoil at all. It's also fully optional. It is a surprisingly fun game and a great co-op game. It also has some good mods, which I highly recommend, including build anything from anywhere and turn off durability. Those are the two big ones I recommend. And, sorry, thank you, Mr. Nuclear. Very, very much appreciate that sub. And 2 years of support. Thank you so much. If you want to put that anniversary sub towards something, please let me know. Yeah, durability, I get why durability exists in survival games, but I agree that most survival games do not know how to design durability. Frankly, toggles or options would really help with a lot of those problems. Now, I hope I can just pull this in straight. So you've probably heard of this game. We've actually streamed this game. It was before the Oblivion line, though, so it's an out-of-date review. I haven't played it yet, Venters. So this is my current base. Yeah, I was going to say, expansions have come out since then. This is, like I said, this is my current base. I just kind of wanted to show it off briefly because Ginger Ninja just showed up. Thank you, Ginger Ninja. Always. If you would like to put that towards something, let me know. Otherwise, I'll have to sick the ninjas on you, and I don't think anybody wants that. I know a pack of 12 ninjas around here somewhere. Anyways, this is another interesting game because it's not quite... yes, Ginger Ninja. It's not quite as efficiency-y or as design-y as, say, Factorio or Satisfactory. But there's still definitely some design going about this. There's a lot of design going into this. Setting up which zones are where and which zones can take which items, making the power grid work, making sure you have proper heating and cold, making sure your food supply is not just existing, but has proper throughput. Like each type of food. So I've got potatoes here, that's corn, that's rice, those are berries. And each of those things has different times to grow and different amounts of return, how much stuff you get out of that. And so you need to make sure that you're balancing all of that in a way so that you have a continuous amount of food. Really? I've been playing for 5 seconds. Yeah, it's Dwarf Fortress Light, to be completely honest with you. Which is good, because Dwarf Fortress is a little bit much for me. No offense to anybody, of course, but holy crap. 1 second, so Ginger Ninja's gonna put it towards... Firewatch, Spiritfarer, and Republic Commando, you got it. We'll hit for a second. Anyways, but yeah, you gotta... Temperature is fascinating in this game. The amount of detail that goes into the temperature design here is really impressive, actually. Roman, what are you doing? Oh, Jesus. Okay. Raft. Yeah, Dwarf Fortress is the perfect example of a game where you can do nothing wrong and lose in seconds. Now, that's part of the appeal of it, of course. Part of the appeal. But holy crap. Okay, so let's back off because we're about to be attacked. So this is one of the things you can do is you can take manual control of your people. Now, what's interesting about this is more of a give and take than it sounds like. Because if you take manual control of your people, you have manual control over your people. They don't do anything of their own volition. And, where's my dude? There he is. So I happen to get some decent armor. What did I get on him? I got a Prestige Recon helmet and a Phoenix armor and a Silver Gladius. So that's my melee dude. Get up there. And let's get you up here. Let's just you back here. Okay, go. Preferably over there before it gets to my wooden barracks, please. Okay, thank you. Alright, be free. Anyways, so if you take manual control, they only do what you tell them to and all the problems that ensues. If you give them automatic control, you have to deal with this nightmare. Now, this is more intuitive than it looks like, I swear to God. And honestly, if I was to summarize Rimworld in one sentence, that's it. It's more intuitive than it looks. When I fired this back up this week, you know, when I was really having issues and just was sitting here dying, just hacking and coughing, and it hurt too much to lay down. I just stared at this screen right here, and I was just like, what the hell am I looking at? And the problem is, its interface is what I would call not very well presented, but very well designed. So in the upper left, we have the resources we have currently in stockpiles. The exact item, and you can mouse over it, and the exact amount. And you can scroll through this naturally. It's just intuitive, right? Over here on the right, we have current active stuff. It's raining at the moment. Here's our time. Here's the temperature, wherever our mouse happens to be. As you can see, it changes based on where my mouse is. There's a ritual opportunity soon. There's a tattered apparel soon, right? Down here, we have all sorts of options. Red is obvious, it's off. Green check mark is it's on. This allows you to see, for example, like how a room is. Or you can do... Whoops, turn that back off. We can see this. This actually shows us what our beauty is like in a radius. There's tons of interface stuff here. If I had one complaint... If I had one complaint, I would say that this screen right here, which is the production screen, is the one that needs the biggest overhaul. Because there's orders, and there's some redundancy in this. Like, some of the stuff is in multiple things. But, like, it's like, okay, I want to build this. Where the hell do I build this? And some stuff is obvious, like power, duh. Temperature, sure. Where the hell do I build a graveyard? Or a grave for somebody? How do I build a road? And it's just, some of the stuff isn't super intuitive and just involves looking, right? Well, then you notice the search thing. So, let's do that. There. And you can actually search for something and it'll actually pull you to the floors. And then there's the things that have tile in the name. So like I said, it's not very pretty. This seems to be a recurring trend here. But it is surprisingly well designed. So that's the build menu. The schedule menu, I try to leave this alone. You'll notice all I've done is I've put the night owls to sleep here. And I make sure everybody has at least an hour devoted towards recreation, because otherwise they're stupid and don't recreate. But that's all I do with that. This is something that's more for nitty-gritty. If you want to assign, okay, what outfit priority, food priority, drug priority, carry priority. This is your current animals. We actually have quite a few here right now. Wildlife, this is a great screen. This is this is how you hunt and tame. This is all the animals currently active that are not yours in the entire map. And when I say map, I mean the zone. This section right here, right? So this particular zone, that's all of that. And it gives you information on what they are, which is all. And when I say information, I freaking mean it. There's a lot of information in this game. Possibly too much. It tells you what life stage they're at, how likely they are to retaliate if you hunt them, how likely they are to retaliate if you tame them. You could set them to be tamed or retaliated here, etc., etc. So that's cool. Research tab is obvious, nothing to add to that. Researching is its own problem. Quests, pretty self-explanatory. Here's the world map. Now, this tiny little speck, that's us. There's the world. Now, they've changed how caravans work since the last time I did. I actually have done 2 caravan missions since then. One was to one spot over here. It was a mission. Yeah, you can make additional bases. You can make temporary bases. Like, let's say I really, really need lumber for some reason. So I could set up a base camp over here in the forest and just set it to harvest everything. And then haul all the lumber back here through caravan and then abandon it, right? It also shows where the other encampments are. That's an enemy one. That's just another encampment. That's another encampment. There's a couple. I don't know if there's ocean travel yet. There's certainly a lot of ocean here. I know there's shuttles because I've already used one of those. Shuttles just go right to where you're going. The faction, I can't think of the name of, the Exodus Imperium is constantly being like, hey, you should do this for us, and in exchange, we'll help you with psychic abilities. And I'm like, I don't even want to touch psychic abilities yet. Let's just leave that alone. I'm still trying to figure out the base game. But, again, to make the point, each one of those individual little spots on the map is one of these. I guess I don't have much else to show off. I'm still figuring out the Dryad thing. I just got this. This is very recent. I've got a lot of medicine coming in, a lot of food coming in, obviously. And of course, we've got our animals, which are helping out. I have a huge supply of granite on this map. Yeah, I know, right, Shaman? So I'm trying to slowly convert all of my homes, each individual house spot, into granite stuff to try and prevent fire problems. As you can see, we've got a little bit of a lumber dependency on the western side of the map over here. This used to be a mountain. I actually carved this out to my main base. And there's freezer. If I was to give any advice on this game, making a freezer your top priority. Figure out power. Figure out the air conditioning unit. Make a freezer. Food storage is so critical. It's ridiculous. Teleport fire form. Oh my. Oh yeah, or start in the snow. Yeah, in that case, it doesn't even matter. There's so many ludicrously large. I can't even word properly. There are so many options in this game. So many different things you can do. And so much customization. It's actually insane. Yeah, having a good cook. So check this out. So I mentioned this is more intuitive than it looks. Red outline. They're not good at that. Orange outline. They don't like doing that. Normal outline. They're okay at that. White outline. They're good at that. Left is highest priority. Right is lowest priority. That's it. That's the whole grid right there. Now you notice I actually have the automatic priority thing. I can also do manual priority. This is its own thing. We were using this exclusively when we were streaming it, if you remember. Here you could set individual priorities for individual people. So like something on the far right, we could say, I want that to be top priority. And over here on the left, I want this to be minimum priority, or don't do it at all. I haven't been messing with that this time around because I haven't had to yet. Mostly because my workers are terrible. Like Lucy. You look at Lucy, right? Anybody familiar with this game knows Lucy is a load. But for those of you who don't know this game, let me explain Lucy. So Lucy, she can mine. She's a decent miner. She's an okay hunter. Her shooting is acceptable. She can't smith. She can't tailor. She can't craft. She can't haul. And she can't clean. Oh, and she can't cook. Also, her handle and warden stats are crap. So what she... Oh, her doctor, by the way. Her doctor skill is crap, too. So what she can do is mine, make art, and barely research. I have actually thought about killing her because she is such a load. God. Just... Almost everyone else on this list has something that makes them reasonably useful. Lucy is like, in fact, the biggest thing, you probably can't tell because it's like nighttime. But, give me a sec, I'll make it daytime really quick here. I'm not evil, Ventures. I'm just thinking about killing one of my loyal followers, that's all. I'm actually allowing Piotr, so you might wonder why I have some cooks, even though they're red. It's actually specifically because of the fact that I want them to level cooking. Because I want everyone to be at least okay at cooking, because cooking is so damn critical. Cooking, cleaning, and doctor. I think that's exactly what Taquita just said. Somebody said that in chat. Yeah, it was Taquita. Those are the most critical things. Everything else is useful to some extent or another. But you really want to have as many people who can do those three things as possible. And you'll notice I only have one good doctor, two good cooks. That I used to have only one. I've been training, like I said. In fact, I should actually turn Vaughn off of that. How do you handle food poisoning? I just live with it. They get food poisoning, and that sucks. I need the level cooking. That's it. That's the end of that sentence. There's also a lot of other stuff that isn't really intuitive that you kind of learn going through the game, which I actually enjoy. Like, you'll notice I've got a completely isolated area for my butchery spot. This is where the hunters drag and drop the corpses, and then they then get butchered in the butcher thing. And it helps to keep a lot of... It doesn't help all the time, but it does help to keep a lot of the filth and blood in there and separate from everything else. This will eventually be the kitchen, which I'm going to be putting in a sterile environment. Don't have the tech for that yet because research is extraordinarily slow in this game. So, haven't done that yet. Yeah, exactly, Golvite. There's just... It's cool. It's cool. Don't worry about it. One of the things I'm glad this game doesn't deal with is bathrooms. Because holy crap. Yeah, I thought about setting up the... Oh, what do they call that? The dust lock, I think is what they called it. So, like, anytime they're going into a sterile place, they go in and essentially leave their dust in the dust lock, and then they actually enter the actual spot. I've been thinking about doing that. I haven't done that yet. I haven't committed to it yet. Not even sure I'm going to play this game much, because I'm going to start streaming soon, and all my free time is going to go away. But, oh, yeah. This is my corpse pile. So I don't have a crematorium. All objects that are just left out in the wild deteriorate. You can see in the lower left there, it's got 57 health left. So that's going to take forever. In 57 days, that corpse will go away. So that's just the corpse pile. You just leave it up there. I have a grave. It's empty right now because one of the events I got was Piotr here, who oh wow, he's finally done being pissed off about his dead daughter. His daughter died, and so he hit a mood break, and his mood break was corpse obsession. So he rushed up, ripped his daughter out of the grave, and then plonked her down in the middle of the base. Seconds later, one of my people was like, oh, I need to go and grab this person. And then that's her right there. That's Winter. Now, you're probably thinking, why didn't you put her back in the grave? Couldn't figure out how to do that. I couldn't figure out how to rebury her. It's still assigned to her. Look, assigned, colonist, Winter, minstrel. Anyways, right now we're taking care of a little rat. Earlier we had a lamb. They said, take care of this lamb. We said, no problem. The lamb caught the plague. We failed that quest. It was delicious, though. So now we're taking care of the rat. Hopefully the rat will not have the plague. Looks like it's another 16 days. That rat's just going to be a freeloader. Oh, right. The whole reason I was waiting for the daytime. Sorry. So the only use I've found for Lucy, the load, she actually has... What? Oh, yeah. So I'll get to that in a second. So she has pretty good art skill. So I made these little sculptures to raise the beauty of rooms, because beauty has to do with people's mood. So every room has its own little sculpture she's made, just to keep people's mood up. I actually haven't made one for you. I need to do that. That's kind of the only really good use I've gotten out of Lucy. Anyway, so here's another fun one. So each disease is handled differently, right? So right now he has gutworms. Now the way gutworms works is you need to reach 300% quality in tending. In other words, he needs to have a doctor heal him a minimum of 3 times, but a maximum of a lot more than that. That's how you get rid of gutworms. You'll notice he still has gutworms because, as we've already mentioned, my medics are crap. Thank you, Appointee Peta. So hang on, where are you? What are you doing? Oh, he's already going there. He's already going there. Go to bed. Yeah, cumulative successes, exactly. There's other ways to deal with other diseases. The plague is actually one of the cooler ones, in my opinion. So the way the plague works is it kills you in 3 days. Dead. However, if you so you start off, and I forget the exact number, but you start off like building immunity to the plague. Your body's fighting it off, right? And that takes more than 3 days. However, if they're rested and well-fed and their mood is kept okay, and people give them medical attention, that number of how much time it takes to become immune to the plague shrinks. So most of my people actually gained immunity to the plague at like 2.9 days, right before they would have died to it. I'm not even sure that if that tracks that anywhere. I guess not. So my least favorite pawn, actually I was just talking about her. Lucy. Lucy's this one up top here. The artist. She can hunt, but she refuses to haul. Now, you might be thinking, who cares? Well, what she tends to do is she roams off, shoots something, and then leaves its corpse there for someone else to pull in. Because Lucy sucks. The reason I have her turned on to research right now is that's most of what she's doing whenever she's not making a sculpture. That mining. Right now, I think I actually do have a mining project. Yeah, right here. This is my next mining project. In fact, it looks like she was just working on it. Yeah. Right now, I'm trying to raise animal handling so I can start to tame more animals. So, we'll see if we get that. Well, replacing people is kind of difficult to do, like Tomato. I'm definitely not going to murder her in her sleep. Anyways, I'm not going to show up much more. This is Rimworld. There's lots to Rimworld. There's actually one last game I want to show off. Just the one, I swear. Just the one. First, I got to fix my monitor. Then I need to say thank you. You can pick them at the start. I just went with randoms at the start. I don't remember if Lucy was with me at the start or if she was a recruit. Because I've gotten a lot of recruits, and as I've mentioned, I've already lost someone. It is on. There we go. Oh, that's much better. So much better. Thank you, 040I2. We'll always appreciate those subs. Much appreciate. Much obliged. If you'd like to put that towards something, please let me know. Excuse me. So the last game I want to show off, and then I'm going to stop streaming and let my voice rest, is a game that's going to force itself into full screen mode because it's a demo. So let's get out of full screen mode. Thank you. And let's fix... Oh, God, it doesn't save any of my graphics options. Wow. Let's turn off bloom. Let's turn off motion blur. Let's turn off depth of field. There we go. That's better. Now we gotta grab it. Okay. So this demo just dropped not too long ago. Don't worry, it's not that long of a demo. Anybody familiar with the lore and the plot of the Steamworld series, this intro will hit a little bit differently.
You see all those stars up there? That's where we'll live once we escape this world.
There's so many. Which one?
Whichever one you want, kiddo.
How will we get all the way up there, Pa?
By following my plan, little friend.
What are you planning?
I am here to get you all to safety. It is the sole purpose of my existence.
Lucky that Pa found you then. Sure is nice with someone looking out for us.
Quite.
How will you help us then?
Allow me to explain. Long ago, a great hoard of ancient technology was buried here. Technology that has the power to do what you need. Buried deep, deep below the earth. But as you see, I quite lack the ability to dig it up.
Pa and I are really good at digging up things.
Yes, you bots are excellent for manual labor. But do not think it will be an easy journey, my eager friend. We have to go further down than you would ever think possible. And only once we reach the very bottom of the world, we will find your way to the stars.
Well, if it won't be easy, then I'll need the best second in command to make sure we get there.
Who's that?
You, of course.
Wow. Does that mean I'm gonna be a hero like you?
Heroes give people hope, yeah? You've always given me that, kiddo. Must mean you've always been one.
Look, Pa, I see it! I see it, the mine shaft!
All right, folks. Time to get to work.
Now, for those of you who are familiar with the lore of this setting, I'm not sure if those are diesel bots or steam bots. Which one they are would very significantly change the context of that scene.
We'll have to stay focused in order to get to the old tech and escape this rock.
You hear that? Something is making a noise.
Probably just some old hinges on the mineshaft elevator that are creaking. We'll get working in no time.
You better. I'll be ruined if this doesn't work out. You hear? Ruined.
Now, you can tell she's evil because she's rich. And her name is Gildenwire. And she has dollar bills bolted into her hat.
We'll need to get this city up and running first and foremost, though.
Oh no, there's definitely robot zombies. You got it, 040I2. Thank you again. Always. Much appreciated.
Squeeze the area for resources and the people for all that they're worth.
I'm thinking these are Steam bots. But the game didn't answer that, and the demo doesn't go into, like, that at all, so I don't know.
That's mighty harsh, man.
Just get it done.
Okay. So it looks like the exact same layout. I've actually played this before. The interface is not great. It's kind of context-sensitive interface. It, in fact, in many ways feels like a what do you call it? A mobile interface. So we'll do... Yeah, just bear with me, Javan. I'm going to try and push through some of this early game as much as possible. If it's not obvious, I've actually already beaten the demo. There is a definitive endpoint to the demo. So I've actually kind of already got a base build layout in mind. I don't remember how to rotate things. Tab. Okay. There's a problem with going between so many different builder games. They all have different buttons for the same things. Yeah, you notice the build area is just very featured. The only thing that matters is these trees and these trees. Those are the only things that matter. Now, I suppose that's a lie. The shaft also matters, but we'll get to that in a minute. Alright, so we need to get a warehouse going. One thing I do like, you can see literally the range, so you see how much of the road is lit up. That's how much, you can see right there as it's shifting as I go. That's how much it's servicing. Okay, so I'm going to want a forester over here. Let's do it right. Jiggle, 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 jiggle. Jiggle, jiggle. Sorry. Unlike a lot of the games we just looked at, this one is much simpler in terms of throughput and efficiency and all that fun stuff. It's really basic. Excuse me. And then we'll get the warehouse over here. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and get a little bit more housing. While waiting. We want those two. There we go. Whoops. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the tutorial. Thank you for the tutorial. Yep. Thank you. I placed you in the wrong spot. Let's remove. There we go. Done. I mean, honestly, the road management is the primary mechanic of the surface gameplay of this game. It's a little simple. It's not what I would call bad. It's just, I've seen better. But yeah, it reminds me a lot of the Caesar games, because managing the roads is how you manage who goes what and where. That's the dominant amount of that gameplay. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's get this off the thing. Stop being a thing, please. Thank you. Not going to place any decorations because nobody cares. All right, so let's serve a shop right here. Right there. And now we need to do this. Well, I don't remember if Caesar or Pharaoh came first, but one of them inspired the other. Giga pudding. Okay, yeah, I know. Alright, so let's go ahead. Oh, we can't do that yet. Right. Okay, so apparently Caesar came before Pharaoh. I wasn't sure which it was. I'm going to want that there, so let's do that. We're actually running out of boards, finally. Get to work! Yes, I know. Yep. Thank you. If you really want to find out all that information, this is where you do that. After this tutorial goes away. There we go. So you can see we're actually currently producing more planks than we demand, technically. That'll be more important later. So we're just going to chill for a minute. Speed up the game with the button that I don't remember what it is. As an aside, I do enjoy the graphical aesthetic, but then again, I've liked how every Steamworld game looks. Even the 2D side-scroller. So, some of the stuff in the background makes me wonder, and I hope that, because obviously the demo locks you off, you can't go across the bridge. But I'm hoping like that little rail cart thing over there is actually relevant to something. And not just, you know, visual flair. There's a chasm, obviously. There's all sorts of crap over here, but we can't build over here. There's a lot of question marks I have. This is a relatively basic demo. For good and for bad. It's gonna cost 4. Now we wait. I should probably... Let's go ahead and do that. So, hang on. Let's see. So if we... Yeah, it's funny. I'm actually pretty pro-demo, for obvious reasons. But at the same time, it's really obvious why people don't like making demos. And I found myself thinking, if I was in charge of a game studio, and I had that choice of, do I want to enforce a demo or not? Would I do it? And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, you know, maybe I wouldn't. I mean, especially thinking about all the extra time and effort and work they would spend on making the demo instead of making the game. Let's go and repair this. Oh, no, we can't do that yet. Not bad. Are they producing? They're producing. Good. Now that they're doing that, let's get some more. Nope, nope, nope. Housing going. One more. Key giveaways is a very different topic, which I have some complicated thoughts about. Oh god, Mass Effect 3's demo. Dragon Age 2's demo was at least, you know, there was some thought and logic that went into that. Mass Effect 3's, not so much. Yep, I can finally make the cactus farm. Let's go ahead and do that. So I keep forgetting which buttons are which, because I'm stupid. Alright, let's make some cacti. Let's grow some cacti, shall we? Let's grow those delicious cacti. Oh, yeah. I mean, I get you, Java. Like I said, even ignoring all of the obvious problems that were just mentioned with demos, just basically forcing someone to stop working in order to go work on something else is just kind of... I know marketing exists for a reason. I know that that people want to see the game, but... Oh, pot roast sounds pretty good! Exclamation mark. I could totally go for that right now, period. Damn it, Mr. Red. Alright. Time to kill Mr. Red. Alright, what are we at? Okay, so we are currently... It looks like we're producing alright. Good. But everyone's happy. Why is everyone unhappy? Because we don't have enough cactus farms. That makes sense, because I only made one. Let's make another one. Right here. Nope, that's the wrong spot. Where was I putting this? Oh, yeah, right here. Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work at all. That's terrible! Listen, Mr. Red, he knows he must die, okay? It's just a thing. He knows it's its own fault, too. 2, 3. There we go. Produce those. Produce those. See, that's the thing, Monobread. It's so understandable from a viewer, from a player and customer perspective, and arguably a marketing perspective, why demos are a good thing. But think of it from the manager perspective. Ignore evil, greedy executives or whatever mindset you have for them just a second. Throw that out the window. Just think of it from the perspective of the person who's just trying to do the best job at managing their project that they can. I actually do have a game idea that's exactly that, Mr. Red. No joke. Based on Hitman in terms of format. Alright, so let's get some more foresting going on over here. Let's double this up. Like that. There we go. We'll go to the warehouse. We'll do a single stop here. And that should be in range of that. But I do want another lumber mill, and I'm going to put this right here. There we go. Because this way I have two producing at once instead of one. Hey, Dean Badine. Thank you, as always. You missed me talking about how durability needs to go away earlier. Alright, so... Different game, though. Different game. Dean Badine towards the messenger. Yes, I think yours did go through, Ross. I was distracted when it happened. You did give sub. That's why, because you didn't say what you put it towards. So, thank you, S.A. Ross. Now, I've got a mountain of donuts over here. That's not true, but imagine I do. And if I do, well, let's just say that I need more workers. All right, so let's go ahead and set up our second line here. Right here, which I want to go all the way up here. And excellent, Radisvik. I'll probably be looking at that later today. See you around, Dakota. Excuse me. Have a good one. Whoops. Camera moved on me. There we go. Okay. Yeah, that's the other thing. Like, marketing is a very important thing. Let's be very clear, but one of the biggest things I tend to get irritated by is how many people don't understand marketing. And by people, I mean, of course, you know, executives and developers, that kind of fun stuff. But part of the reason that is because I think they don't understand what good marketing is. Because there's such a thing as waste marketing. Yeah, no kidding, Mike Romano. Didn't intend that. But here we are. So let's get the train going.
Running again? We'll be able to ferry in supplies much easier.
Wait, what's that?
Well, looky here. Someone was hiding back there in the shadows.
Oh my, no. Not hiding. Sleeping. The train is running. Hello?
It's just an old rusty bot. I can have my enforcer throw him out.
Yep. Ma'am, that ain't no way to treat a stranger. We're happy to meet you.
I don't want to be a stranger. I am the trader. This is what I do. I think I can conduct all your trade. The train listens to me.
That sounds mighty helpful, partner. Welcome aboard.
I will join. The rumbling of the ground scares me. Why can't I remember?
Nah, don't worry about it. There's nothing evil under the ground. Let's do this. Alright, so I saw a donation. Still not seeing those notifications in chat, which is very frustrating. So let's see if we can go manually see what was donated. It was from Dean. Lots more money. Thank you, Dean. Much obliged and always appreciate. Thank you. I will also put that towards the messenger. And yeah,
To get the mine shaft up and running, we'll need the engineers.
Monday is going to hopefully I'll be fully better and recovered by Monday to get back to regular streaming schedule.
But there are still many unknowns to overcome before we can reach the old technology below.
You mean there's stuff you don't know? Well, that's a surprise.
Charming. It's unlikely that you may have any other questions that I do not possess the answer to.
All right, who built Vectron?
Well, if that's the case, Smarty Pants, I've been hearing this weird song since we came here. Almost like a sad song. Do you know what that could be?
It confirms my suspicions. You can hear it.
So you hear it too?
No, I do not hear it. But I can sense it.
What is it then?
The city that used to exist here was entirely dependent on the technology that powered it. This technology all responded to the same control signal. The old signal. That is what you're hearing.
By the way, can I just gush about the Steamworld series for a second? Just seriously, I just want to take a moment and gush about the Steamworld series. How many of you have ever heard me get off on a rant about why we don't have a Warcraft 4X or a StarCraft City Builder or a Final Fantasy Town Builder or... And now I'm struggling to come up with something that isn't Blizzard related. How about a sports management sim set in MechWarrior? Or maybe an RTS that's actually worth a damn set in Star Wars? Or how about a ship management sim for Star Trek? We don't have any of this crap. Because what happens, and it's so banal of an answer. It's so understandable why it happens this way. It's because the people in charge of those large-scale franchises want the largest return on investment as possible. So what they do is they focus on the genres that are safer investments. Now, that doesn't mean the games that are produced are bad, but it does mean that the number of genres we get for the games that are produced is a much smaller pool, because they are safer genres, whatever is currently considered to be the safest investment. And yeah, sorry, largest return as fast as possible. That's the other side of that. Now, we can still, and we do still get some good games out of that. But we don't get fringe games, exactly, Shaludo. Now, Steamworld has never produced a game that is the same genre as another game they have put out. Not once. And I love it. I love it to death. Steamworld 1 is a puzzle platformer. Steamworld 2 is a Metroidvania. Steamworld, I actually don't remember all the names of the games. Hang on just a second. Steamworld. Because I want to make sure I'm using the right names for some of these games. Okay, Steamworld Heist is a 2D XCOM. Steamworld Quest is a card builder RPG. Oh yeah, and then there's Steamworld Tower Defense, which is a tower defense. And now we've got Steamworld Build, which is actually two separate genres. And that's what I wanted to gush. I should probably mention all of these games are good, and I recommend all of them. Except the tower defense. You can skip that one. But I love that they're doing that. I love that they keep saying, all right, now what do we want to make? So now we've got a city builder and something else, which we'll get to in a minute. So I need... so now we've got the train. The train is a thing. Every so often the train shows up and delivers something, okay? You could set up a trade. Yes, I know. Thank you. Oh my god. So you can set up a trade so that every time the train comes by, you either once or repeatedly trade X for Y. This is a way to fill in gaps in your resource lines, which is awesome. It's just a nice little feature here. Are all the Steamworld games connected? Yes, that's why I mentioned the greater lore of the Steamworld setting earlier. I mentioned Dieselbots, I mentioned Vectron, and I mentioned Steambots. Now that's all you're going to hear from me, because I don't want to spoil, because I bet most people have never even heard of this franchise. But, there's some lore here. It's really terrifying. This is right up there with Metroid in terms of how dark and messed up this setting is. You probably got a hint of that already in the very game you're watching right now. I am, but lots of gunk is coming up, so that's good, period. Alright, so what do I need right now? So now I need to invest in engineers. So let's go ahead and get some of these basic stuffs upgraded to engineers. Bong, bong, bong. Now, engineers need more resources. Sorry, I haven't really been talking this out much because I've already done this. Engineers need more stuff than workers do. For example, engineers need booze. Booze is its whole thing. So let's get a saloon going first. Saloons are easier. So let's just get a saloon going right there. That should cover most of the residential spots. That's covered. But now we need booze. How the hell do we get booze? Well, booze requires sand sifting to make glass and cactus to make booze. So we need a sand sifter somewhere where it's nice and fertile. So we're going to set it up over here. It's already got a warehouse it's connected to, but at the same time, I don't know if I like that spot. I think I don't like that spot. Let's set it up way over here. Just completely off on its own, right? Now we do need to get that sucker connected. So we're going to do a very simple line going... yeah, right here. And there's that road. I can see that, Carol White Noise. Damn it, Kick a Pudding. You're terrible! Love you, you're terrible. Alright, so. We unlocked a new decoration. We're never going to use it. Cool. Alright, so. Now we want another cactus farm. That's okay. Cactus farms are cool. We like cactus farms because what we want to do, that should fit. We're going to put it right over here. Then we're going to go ahead and cactus it up. 1, 2, 3. Up, up. We're going to hit the wrong button. That seeds the RNG. We now have extra cactus coming in, which is great. We've got tons of sand coming in. That's great, too. After sand, we now need to make glass blower. We're going to put this right here. Right on the warehouse that's pulling in. We need more engineers. That's cool. We need 7 more engineers. That's also cool. So let's just go ahead and make 7 more engineers happen. 1, 2, 3. Now, we're low on workers now. That sucks. It's okay. No problem. Because we can make more worker stuff, too. So let's make some more worker housing. We actually already have set up for this, if you're paying attention to how I did my layout. There we go. That should actually do it for workers. Yep, we're good. We now have a worker surplus, and we have an engineering surplus, which is fantastic. Because that means we can repair the mine shaft and get to the good part of the game. So, let me pause for a second. This is a competent city builder. As I mentioned earlier, the majority of the gameplay focus is centered around the, let's see here. Centered around the roads. There's road upgrades you can get, which I haven't showed you off. There's optimization in terms of making travel routes. Right, like we were talking about earlier, it's like Pharaoh or like Caesar. Designing the roads is most of the gameplay up top. But this is the good stuff.
We made it. We ought to set up some quarters for our miners and get started on digging. I feel the place shaking, though. Best we dig slowly.
Indeed. The planet is becoming more unstable by the moment. Proceed with caution.
And when we find this tech we're after, you reckon my daughter will be able to fix it?
Control of the old signal was passed on to descendants of those that lived here. And by chance, it was to be your daughter that was granted this most crucial gift.
Never doubted she was special, that's for sure. We better go get whatever piece of the tech we can, then. It'll be out there in the dark somewhere.
So you've played Overlord, right? Because this should immediately look familiar. God, it's been so long since I've had a good Overlord game. It really has. All right. So let me pause, actually. We're actually going to fast forward. Let's pause for just a second. Spartan asks a very good question. What's a good city builder, base builder, because that's different, for someone experienced in RTS stuff? Oh, gosh. Maybe I mean Dungeon Keeper. I don't know. I don't know what I mean. I don't know nothing about nothing. What I do know is that a good base builder, honestly, what I would probably think of is just trying to think of the best base builders in general, and I've actually shown off several today. Rimworld comes to mind immediately. It is extremely modular and plays primarily as you trying to herd your units into function. That kind of tracks. Other than that, like, what's a good entry? Help me out, Jamin and Kiera White Noise. What's a good, like, intro base builder? Because I've been playing base builders since they existed. It's like asking me, what's a good first RPG? And I'm just sitting here all going, I haven't played Oxygen Not Included. It's on the list, hint, hint. Oh, there you go. Oh, wow, we need more glass. What's the problem there? It is... Hang on, let's go topside again really quick. Mindustry? I haven't played that either. I can't speak to games I haven't played. Oh, because we literally don't have one yet. God, I'm stupid. Yeah, let's just set this up really. Yeah, let's just set up the other one over here. I thought I left a spot for it. Oh, right. Okay. That's cool. That's cool. I can make that work. We'll just put it over here. There we go. Thank you, Gold Tech. I will put that towards the Age of Empires block. You got it. Well, yeah, City Builder and Management Sims bleed over into each other a lot. But anyway, so let's go play Dungeon Keeper, whatever the hell it's called. So, this is awesome. All right, so first of all, play. Gold! We got gold. So there's the mineshaft entryway, right? We got to figure out what we're doing down here. So let's go ahead and stabilize this place, because it's falling apart. You see those lines right there? That means that's part of the mine that's collapsing. The more you dig out, so it's actually not the more you dig out. The more open spaces you dig out, the more the mine shaft is collapsing. So this pillar forms a degree of tax on how you clean out where. Or you can just be careful about what you dig out, and therefore no parts of the thing collapses. So we do need miners down here. So what we need is, this needs to be 9 big, I'm pretty sure. So if we just build 1 miner quarters, it's like, hey, this is super small. It doesn't provide anything. It'll tell you that right there. So, okay, well, let's expand this sucker, shall we? There. We now have enough for 1 miner. Now, the miners, if you're left to their own devices, will shore up. They'll get rid of debris on the ground. They'll shore up walls, which helps increase stability. We want to give them orders, so I want you to dig out that gold and those tools. Go digging. Each mining quarters can hold up to 3 miners, which requires a total of 21... No, that's wrong. 18... 27? Yeah, 27. 27 squares dedicated towards the quarters. Which you can already see how much space 27 squares is just from looking at this. We're going to do that, of course, because we want them. Excuse me. So, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, we're out. Hang on. What are we out of? Hang on. We're up to 16 is the relevant part. Oh, I see what happened. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Wait a moment. Let's dig out this. And we're going to leave that because we don't want to have everything knocked over. We'll go ahead and dig this out. Go ahead and dig that out. Clean that up. Three, 4, 5, 26. That would be perfect except for that. So... well, I'll just put it over here. 27, there. We now have 3 miners, fully stocked and ready to go. So let's go ahead and have them dig a little bit. Let's do exactly what the tutorial says to do. And yeah, sand blocks just crumble. Then you've got sandstone, which they can't actually dig through until they have better equipment. We'll talk about that in a minute. Then there's the city side. Ignore the city side. Back down. All right, so we need scrap. Now here's the thing. Gold and scrap are both used up here at this level. You'll notice we actually keep track of it. There's the scrap and there's the gold up there in the top. Tools is used down here. Why aren't you digging? Dig! Dig! There we go. Now we're going to check our instability for a second. Just make sure we're good. Yeah, I was going to say, that was a bunch of stuff. So let's go ahead and pop down another stability pillar there. Stability tax. Yeah, exactly, Kara White Noise. That's the same problem I run into. Oh, we found a scrap vein. Sweet. We can't do anything with the scrap vein, though. We need equipment for that. Alright. We need prospectors. Huh, how do we get prospectors? Got it. First we get more engineers. So, top side. Let's figure out getting more engineers so we can get more scrap, shall we? So we need, what, 27 it looks like? No, we need 70. Oh, geez, that's a lot. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go hog wild. Right, like this. Bushka, as they say. We're going to set up our second road here, which is actually extremely badly set up. But again, I don't really care because this is a demo. And I mostly just want to show off the underground section because that's the best part. You can do that, Goldvine. And then you can destroy Terra, which is what I always recommend. I mean, honestly, isn't that what we all really want deep inside? But yeah, if you have a terminal collapse, it's actually really easy to avoid a terminal collapse down below. But if you let it happen, whew, this is also when we can start to upgrade our roads. I kind of mentioned that earlier. Think about that as upgrading roads takes resources, which requires the mine. You can only get resource stuff from the mine in order to do that. So yeah, let's get our worker population back up, because we just torpedoed it on purpose. Whoops, I actually placed that wrong. That's my bad. Everyone, move your houses. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. Jiggle, jiggle, jiggle. There we go. And one more? Can I fit one more? Damn you. It's all the charcoal kids' fault. Let's just scooch you. Go down here. There we go. Or workers. Workers' paradise. Yeah, I know, right, Jonathan? I admit I am a fan of both, but that doesn't really help people who aren't. Okay, so we need service shop up top to deal with all these poor folk. We're going to put right there. Around, because we're stupid. Yeah, that's fine. What else do we need? We also need access to the marketplace. We're going to put a marketplace right there, so that anybody working up at the mines has access to the marketplace. Now, we got a lot of workers, we got a lot of engineers, which is great. What we don't have is death. So we need to figure out some death. Here's what I'm thinking. Get another road here, right there. Let's make it as terrible as possible, because we're just screwing around with it. Ah, God, I feel like death, Tara. I feel terrible. So yep, there's the paved road. Not doing that right now. Toolmaker, which obviously we very much want, but what we actually want right now is a prospector, and I don't remember how to make prospectors. Oh, hang on. We've unlocked prospectors. Okay, we did it. We did it. We're cool. Okay. So, now we're going to set up the prospectors' quarters. We got a bunch of spaces here. But you know what? Honestly, I just, you know, just dig it all out. Dig it all out. Screw it. Screw it. Screw it. Instabilities be damned. Who's playing in the Super Bowl? If you say the Chiefs, I swear to God, I'm going to donut you. I've got donuts. No, I don't. I've got Reese's. Oh my God, it's the Chiefs. I hate the Chiefs so much. All right. So we're just going to wait for a second. All right, let's get some prospector quarters going on. So, we need our prospectors. Get in here. How are we doing on stability? We're actually doing okay on stability. Surprisingly enough. Who's Philadelphia? Or what's the team name? I guess I should say. Eagles. Okay. I'm okay with the Eagles. But screw the Chiefs. Screw the Chiefs so hard. Alright, so I should mention, I don't know if this is true in Dungeon Keeper, because I'm not that familiar with Dungeon Keeper. But Golvine sent me a donation, and I should acknowledge that. When did you send that, Golvine? Right now. Putting it towards Starfield. Thank you very, very much. See, this is why I need that freaking chat log to tell me when donations come in. Because if I don't have the chat log, I can't tell when a donation comes in. Listen, Giga, it's not my fault that we have mech football, okay? Have you never played mech football? Holy crap. You're deprived, Giga. Alright, so let's check our stability really quick. Yep, we're getting a little bit of instability. We're just going to get ahead of that right now. Not even gonna mess with it. Yeah, I was gonna say, Goldback, there's no notification on my end. I just went and manually looked, and it's like, hey! I was like, oh, cool, thanks. Alright, so what do we need? We need 6 more prospectors. 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got some prospectors. We can also put 6 more, which I'm gonna do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Now we're harvesting scrap, so now we have a supply of scrap. A regular supply of scrap, which is excellent. So let's go back to top side here. Now that we've got scrap coming in. The what, Ross? So scrap. Tool makers. So we need tool makers. So we're going to put a tool maker. Let's actually put it right over here would be ideal. We're getting a little bit of clog at this particular warehouse, actually. So let's set up another warehouse right here, right here. And this is going to be the mine warehouse. And then we're going to go ahead and set up the tool maker. There we go. Right there. Start turning that scrap into tools. Now we need to make our people happy. Which sucks. I wish our people would just be happy. Why aren't these people just happy? God. Okay, so we've been a little bit casual about our design. Sort of on purpose. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to showcase something. So some of you probably don't actually know that you can build on the other side of the railroad tracks. Like this. It took me a disturbingly long period of time to figure that out when I was playing the demo the first time. Damn it, did Terra donate to? Why am I not getting any notifications for anything? Whatever. So we're going to put the surveyor right over here. And this way, we're supplying most of the engineers with the tools that they need. Not all of them. Not all of them. We need one more. Now, fortunately, I forgot to do this properly. So we're going to scooch a couple of things. Just do this a little bit more properly. So we're going to scooch. Like that. Then we're going to make some fields like we already did. We just need that cactus. You're probably like, what do you need cactus for? Believe it or not, water. Maybe they are steam bots just because they need water. That just occurred to me. Although only the workers need steam. That's interesting. What if there's steam and diesel? Yeah, what, John? What's the issue? Plonk. You got a problem with it? Plonk. So now we get a little bit of a road out. And a little bit of a road down. Oh, I did leave a space. Oh, whatever. Problem is, that road goes to nowhere. That's okay. No, it's okay. These are steam bots or diesel bots or whatever. What's the issue? We're low on glass. That makes sense because we've only got... Yep, okay, that makes sense. Yep, engineers run on booze, so that's not diesel. Maybe they are booze bots, I don't know. I really do not. Okay, so... Really quick, let's get another glass blower because we are low on glass. Let's plonk it right there. And we do need the other warehouse. Actually, we don't really need another warehouse. Let's connect this road. Let's make this so that this actually is a thing. There we go. It's the booze bots. Oh God, dear God, they're gonna run everything. Run. Okay. So we now need more engineers. That's what we need. We need to progress with more engineers. So, how many more engineers can we make happen? Still having issues with that. Well, we've got a lot of money, so we're going to start trading. We're going to start trading money for tools. I want you to do that forever. Okay, just start making tools happen, please. Now get out of here, train. this for my kimono. Alright. Okay, so I need more of you. I still need more? How much more do I need? What do I need? 15 more. There we go. Now we're a little bit low on workers, but I'm just going to live with that. I'm just going to live with being a little bit low on that. That's okay. We're okay. Everything's cool. How are we doing down here? We still got our scrap vein being accessed. That's cool. Everything seems to be stable at the moment. It's time to start thinking about bridges and the like. So let's see. So we've got... Let's get a bridge out to here. So hang on. So let's dig. Let's make a dig line here. And I also want you to grab that. And start digging south, because we're going to need that too. I'm also going to need that. Make sure to grab those. Exactly, Giga Pudding. Unfortunately, the demo's going to end as soon as I finish this floor. Sorry. It's a demo. Okay, so now what we want is a bridge, which means sheet metal, which means ironium. So we need ironium. We need to find an ironium vein. Just need to get more of these chests. Alright, so... Yeah, my throat's slowly getting worse and worse. That's kind of why I'm in a hurry here. Okay, so let's make some pickaxes, which requires scrap from the mine and forest, but that's cool. Let's make a pickaxe maker. Scrap and forest, we're going to do it right there, right next to the mine. Start making those. Sheet metal, that's also going to come from the mine. That's okay, we've got a thing right here, specifically for that. So we're going to pull this here, and just make a loop. Plop this down so that they are capable of producing sheet metal from this ironium we get from the mine. We can't put that there, that's okay. We'll do it here. Okay. Back down. Yep, I know. So now, we need to get mechanics down here. We also need a vein before we really get mechanics. Let's set up a mechanics corner over here, first of all. Just kind of clunk that down there. Costs a lot of gold to do that. We need more gold. Let's make some more gold happen. We need to be a little bit more goblin about this. Hey, chest! Blong! What do we get? We get hats! I love hats. Oh, okay. So that's an item. I think we actually... Here, we'll do this down here. Item. Prospectors. So we got a prospector item from that chest, which makes this particular bundle of prospectors 66% faster. You can slot 3 things into a given camp. You called it, Giga. I didn't want to say nothing. Alright, let's get digging here. Just pretend they have wheels. Just pretend they have wheels. Alright, so we can actually get one bridge going right now. Let's go ahead and do that. Oh, we need sheet metal. We need sheet metal. We need ironium. We need ironium. We need ironium. Can we find some? We're gonna have to go digging for it. Alright. So in the distant darkness. Come on, do it. There you go. You can see some glittering. You know what glittering means. Oh, that's bedrock. We can start pushing through the sandstone, though, because now that we got the pickaxers, these guys. Well, we can get... Yeah, let's get 5 more. So that's what? 5. What are the 4? 5. We're out of gold. Need more gold. It's just like in real life. Yeah, let's try to get down there. That's another game I highly recommend for anybody who wants to play a co-op fun game. Deep Rock Galactic. There's no campaign, there's no story. I'm just going to say that right now. But they're still keeping it up to date, and it is a surprisingly well-crafted, well-maintained game. And it's a lot of fun to play with friends. Would not recommend it solo. Don't play it if you're playing it by yourself. Alright, so. So let's go ahead and get a scrap extractor on this scrap vein. Maybe? Let me do that. Oh, because I'm an idiot. That's why. Okay, cool. Always good to be an idiot. There we go. How many more do we need? Okay, one more. There we go. Now we can plop a scrap extractor here and just start automatically pulling scrap out of that vein forever. Now we need to find the ironium. That's true. Frostpunk is mean. Brilliant, beautiful, and awesome. But also very, very mean. I would not recommend Frostpunk as a first city builder kind of game. Alright, let's double check our infrastructure. How we doing? How we doing? Anything in favor? In threat of falling? Nope, looks like we're good. Kind of big. Ixion makes Frostpunk look friendly. That's terrifying. Oh, there we go. It is now automatically extracting scrap. Scrap, scrap, scrap. Yeah, I know that. We don't have metal, game. Yep, okay, cool. Co-op friendly is good. In my opinion. Gems! We don't really need those yet. That's cool. Okay, can you, like, just do this? How we doing up top? Actually, looks like we're doing pretty solid up top. Now, that being said, we could use... So you're having a bit of road issue. What are you doing here? Ah, that's why. Okay. That makes sense. Okay. We're just going to leave that and not care. We're going to pretend we're a real-life politician, be told to our face that there's an infrastructure problem, and say, I don't care. Thank you, Cookie Dude. I will put that towards Xenogears. Thank you. I'm not even sure I'd call Black and White a management sim. Although I'm not sure what I'd call it in general. I'm also not sure if I'd recommend that game, because that game sucks. Worst game ever. That's a lie. But I don't have many memories of that game. Okay, so where's my frickin' ironium? I need ironium. There it is! I found it! I found it! Get over there. Dig. Get to work. Alright. We have access to ironium. Let's go ahead and set up a machine. We have one more machine, which we can't extract from? That's strange. Oh, prospectors. Okay, go, prospectors. Start making us some freaking iron. So, to run through all this, we have access to an iron vein. That iron vein is producing iron ore, which they then take up top. I was hoping we could actually catch the guy, but they bring the iron up here, specifically to this exact factory. Oh, there we go. And this factory takes 15 seconds. You can see all the little workers carrying stuff around. All my little bots. Boy, this takes a long time. I just want iron. You know what I could do? Speed this up a little bit. Can we buy iron? We can't. Ooh, that's expensive. We're gonna do it, though. Let's just cancel that trade. No, delete the trade. There we go. Let's start buying sheet metal. Let's just speed this up a little. Okay. So we're starting to produce that, which means we now have access to bridges. So the first bridge, of course, is up here. Hey! What's that? It's, I don't actually know what that is. What did we find? Looks like it's another item for prospectors. Maybe? No? Okay. Is it an item for up top? It is! What do we get? What do we get? Looks like we can put it in a... manufactory? Yep, production chance increase. Production speed increase. Well, we're obviously going to put that in the smelter. Duh. Where else would we put that? Alright, we're running a deficit. Our town's falling apart. We don't have enough lumber, but nobody cares. You know why nobody cares? Because we're going to get our hands on some old tech. Lost tech. This is going to be great. This is going to be fantastic. Let's hit that switch. That opens the door. At some point. There we go. We did it! So now we need more miners. Okay, that's cool. I can make that happen. It's fine, Gigapudding. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You worry too much. Actually, cancel that. It's listen, Gigapudding. There's going to be happiness in candies and rainbow. And unicorns. Also, there's water, which the demo has, but we don't do anything with yet. So I don't know what water's going to be for. It's for something eventually. I don't know. Let's make some gold and some tools happen while we're making this. Alright, so what do we need? We need waters, yes. There we go. Cool. We have 6 miners. What's the issue? Oh, we don't. My bad. Now we have 6 miners. Okay. Why does it still say we have 5? Oh, we've also... Yeah, okay, yeah, hang on. So we've got some problems. Let's throw up a pillar. Okay, we're good, we're good. We have 6 miners. There you go. Go dig. Let's go extract some lost tech. This is going to be great. Whatever it is, it's going to be a joyous, wondrous occasion for everyone. Now, this takes time. From what I understand, this will be an event. Anytime you start this, you're probably going to have to defend these guys as they're digging. And deal with all the other issues, because this takes a while. You know, building a great wonder, right? We're taking off the spaceship in Rimworld. Oh, excuse me. Man, I feel terrible. I'm in a lot of pain right now. No, I meant an Age of Empires, Gigapudding. In Age of Empires, the moment you start to build a Great Wonder, or whatever it's called, the whole map knows you're building it. The whole map knows where you're building it. And if you build it, you win the match. Balrog? I don't know, Golvag. I think it's fine, though. I think it's great. One thing I like about the Steamworld games, they are totally devoid of subtlety, but in a way that works for them. Like everyone said, even if you don't know the lore of the setting, you know immediately that this is a terrible, terrible idea. And the games, they're all like that. None of them try to obfuscate the terrible decisions that the people in those games tend to make. My personal favorite example of that, which I will not spoil right now, is the one in Steamworld Heist. If you've played it, you know the one I'm talking about, I'm sure. Oh.
Hurry now. Hold it up to the city and let us prepare for its installation. The first of many, but we must start somewhere.
Ain't no telling what'll happen when we start moving that thing.
When it shakes, they hear it. You have to be ready. We weren't ready last time.
Who hears what? What weren't you ready for?
I'm not sure what that old Rustbot is talking about, but that song is louder now. It's asking me to come closer.
New arrivals. Escape vessel. Disassemble. 6 parts. Maintenance overdue. Locate remaining parts. Combine. Launch.
What in tarnation's going on?
The old signal speaks.
You sure she'll be okay?
Your daughter is fine. She will need some time to recharge. What matters now is that we know what we must do. Recover the remaining 5 pieces of the vessel and put it together so we can escape.
I remember that voice. It sounds so old.
And that's the end of the demo. Launching at some point in time in 2023 on PC and consoles. Now, I'm staying on this screen for just a second, because this screen actually gives a hint of some other stuff we'll be able to have access to. Up top, we've got cattle and marshals, and there's some hint of some military side of that. On the bottom, well, you can see the bugs attacking, and the person with the flamethrower, so that's an actual fighter with a flamethrower. But we also see the turret. Also on the right side, don't think about it too much. If you've played the Steamworld games, you probably recognize all of those enemies too. Which there are 3 on the screen right now. And that's Steamworld Build. I'm extremely excited for this game. As I've said before, I've loved every Steamworld game, and I love the fact that they keep genre hopping. I really do. And I love base builders, as the entire day's stream has probably showcased. Now, I'm in a tremendous amount of pain right now, so I'm going to go ahead and chop off and try to recoup a little bit. Hopefully I'll be good enough to go ahead and resume regular streaming on Monday. See you around.